Back in August, the high school football season began at the Zenith Prep Kickoff Classic in Detroit. Wayne State's Tom Adams Field was the backdrop for the start of football. 3 months later, the season ends in the city where it began, but this time 3 miles to the south, here at Ford Field. And no school has had a shorter commute to play this weekend than Detroit Cass Tech, just 1 mile from their school on Grand River Avenue. They're back in the finals for the first time in 8 years. Their opponent tonight, the Hudsonville Eagles, made the trip from the state's west side. They're back in the finals for the first time since 2005 and eager to bring home their first football state championship. It's time for the main event, the Division I state championship game from Ford Field. And it's presented by your Southeast Michigan Ford dealers.
Oh, baby, let the big dogs hunt. Hi, everybody, with my friend and my partner, Rob Rubik. I'm Matt Shepard. Yes, we've seen some blowouts in this state championship tournament. This one should be good, though. Cass Tech and Hudsonville, what a fun matchup we got on tap.
Okay, I'm not going on record saying it's going to be a blowout or not a blowout. What I'm going to go on record saying is you're going to see some national talent in this game.
No question about it. Cass Tech is perhaps playing their best football at the right time, and they can beat you in so many different ways, but especially on the outside with two dynamic players, C.J. Sadler and, of course, Alex Graham.
Yeah, head coach Marvin Rushik is blessed with two playmakers. You're looking at Alex Graham, number 7. He's going to play in the secondary. He's going to be your wide receiver. All they try to do is get him the ball in space, and he will naturally do the rest. But he has a counterpart, another running mate on the other side, besides number 7, Alex Graham, who is a big playmaker. Then all of a sudden you have number 1, C.J. Sadler, who plays both ways. One of the best athletes. I started watching him as a freshman at Cass Tech, calling his games, and he's a junior. It seems like he's been there about 5 years, but both of these are prominent top 300 national football players in our country.
All right, Hudsonville has a legitimate chance because of their depth. They've looked really good all season long, very steady.
Yeah, they're very, I wouldn't say basic, they're very well-rounded. You know, 12-game win streak coming in. You look at their schedule, they lost to Howell to start the year, then they come back and they open up a can on them late in the year. OK Red is one of the best conferences in the state. You know that, Chef, as I know it. And look at them, outscoring their opponents of 32-13 lately.
They are led by their quarterback, Griffin Baker. He legitimately a dual threat Q, right?
Yeah, he truly is that. We're not going to highlight a bunch of people on the offense. That's why they're so balanced. It's hard to pick out who you want to talk about. They're good with the running backs, the receivers, and you look at Griffin Baker, very capable quarterback. Not asked to do everything, as we've seen some of these teams, Shep, where they call on a quarterback to really win the game for him. What you're going to see from Griffin Baker is some steady play, distributing the football, and helping the Hudsonville Eagles, hopefully, to a state championship.
Who can handle the pressure? Who can handle the big lights of Ford Field? Both these teams are tough, and they are battle-tested. They are ready for their final game of the season, and so are we. Stay with us. The kickoff to Division I is next. Last weekend at Okemos, the semifinals between Hudsonville and a good Rochester Adams team, but it was really all Hudsonville. They won it 27-7 on the strength of their play from their quarterback, Griffin Baker. He had 3 rushing touchdowns. He had a passing touchdown as well. You ask their head coach, Brent Sandy, about that experience. He said, look, I was one of the last people to leave. I stood there, I took it all in. I got emotional. On the bus, it was emotional. You try and refocus for the finals, but we were grateful because it was surreal and at times a little overwhelmed. The incredible support that we had at Okemos in the semifinals has carried over into incredible support here in the finals at Ford Field. Their opponent, Cass Tech, a team and a tradition that has been here and won before. We're ready for the start of Division I in a moment, but first, it is the Hudsonville Marching Band to deliver the colors of our nation here at Ford Field.
Hudsonville Marching Band.
These marching bands work really hard during the year as well, and it pays off with a beautiful rendition of the Star Spangled Banner. We head down to the sidelines. The third member of our broadcast team. Hi, Natalie Kerwin.
Hey, Matt Shepard. Well, it took some late dramatics for Cass Tech to punch their ticket to the finals just 1 week ago. They went up on Catholic Central. They got a field goal. Catholic Central had a chance to come back and kick one of their own, and Cass Tech said, no way. They blocked it. The hero of this one, Marvin McCallum. I talked to head coach Marvin Rushing. He said, this isn't the first time that Marvin McCallum has been the savior in one of our games. Just a couple of years ago in one of our playoff games, our star running back forgot his helmet. Marvin let him have his, and that kid ended up going off for 300 yards, winning them that game. So now back here at Ford Field in the state finals, Marvin, the hero once again, sending his team here to the state title game. You really can't write the script any better. It's a team built on sacrifice with guys like Marvin that we'll be able to watch here tonight playing for this state championship.
This one should be fun. Cass Tech has won it in 2016 against Catholic Central. They won it in 2012 against the same Shamrocks team. Hudsonville is here for the first time since 2005 when they lost to Brother Rice. What a way to wrap up an exciting weekend of high school state championship football here on our network. Hudsonville will receive after Cass Tech won the coin flip and deferred to the second half. We're underway. Returnable kick from the 5. With just a few yards to set up the offense. Griffin Baker is at the helm. Competitive, athletic, accurate, greatly improved from a year ago, and he's got some weapons, no doubt. Carson Dykstra wears number 1. He's his favorite receiver, and he's got a big offensive line that helps him out as well. We'll get to them here in a moment. Let's see what Griffin Baker can do. You see the numbers there. Passing the ball, throwing for 11 touchdowns, but over 1,100 yards. The combined total offense, almost 2,000. Good decision maker and works out of the shotgun. He'll keep it, but won't go anywhere. Stumped there by John Baker the 4th, wearing number 9 in white. We mentioned Carson Dykstra, an all-conference performer. He's his favorite weapon, and Bryce Fox leads the team in rushing. Up front, Cooper Roberts at the left guard is a 3-year starter. They give him 1 at second down and 9. On the ground, left side. Bryce Fox with a nice gain against a Cass Tech defense that is very stingy. We mentioned Baker making that first tackle. Marcus Jenkins is their best tackler. He wears 6. Alex Graham and Lamont Wilcoxon very good at the corners with Derek Jackson and C.J. Stadler, also tough cover men. This is a 3rd down and 6 for Hudsonville. Double tight end for Griffin Baker. They'll run for it. And it's going to be close.
Well, this is one of the base runs. This is called a GT. You're going to see guard tackle come through, kick up, and then the first one through is going to kick out, and the second one, here they come. Actually, they used the H-back to do it. My bad, I mixed up. But he did a good job of kicking out, and the second one comes through the hole, creates a seam, and nice job. Good start for the Hudsonville offense. Not a good first down, Shep, but they recovered with 2 nice runs on second and third.
The senior Bryce Fox over 1,000 yards on the year now. They stay on the ground. This time a different ball carrier, Owen Harsma.
You can see this already, Shep. You were at the CC game against Cass Tech last week, and I watched it on my computer. But what I noticed, and I talked to Coach Rushing, I said, this is one of the most physical front sevens I've seen at Cass. I've done a lot of the games over the past 20 years, and he had to agree with me. He said, yeah, they play with a lot of fervor. They get at you, and that's what we're seeing early on here. Good penetration by that front four.
Big reason for that, he says, iron sharpens iron. Our best goes up against our best every single day in practice. Harsma left side, and he's going to be snatched down again. John Baker, the fourth. Big kid on the defensive end at number 9 in white. He is 6'5", 217 pounds. Marcus Jennings helped him out.
Well, good job by Cass stringing this out. You can see false pull. You see both guards pull to the right, yet the ball carrier, it goes back to the left. And that's a key. That tries to confuse the keys. If you mix that in, because what happens is defensive linebackers will zone in on your reads, on your line, on your offensive linemen when they're pulling, and they'll start filling and start to get a feel. So every now and then you're throwing false pulls, and it's a key breaker for them.
Third down and a long 6 for Hudsonville. 12-1 on the year. They've won their last 12 games. The lone loss was to Howell in week 1. Baker to the air, scrambling, nowhere to go. It'll be 4th down for Hudsonville.
And pass rushes make secondaries good, and good secondaries will make a pass rush good. And that time, it was the secondary that really aided the pass rush. There was time for Baker, but there's just no one open down the field. They're locking down some man coverage when you got Sadler and Graham back there. And also you see Derek Jackson the third, and that allows the front forward to get pressure. You get about 3 seconds to 4 seconds, and after that, all bets are off if you're the Hudsonville quarterback, Griffin Baker, today.
Braden Van Lake will punt it away. High snap and handled well. And a good punt to keep it away from Alex Graham. And that crawls inside the 20 to the 19-yard line. Good punt.
What an athletic play, going up and getting the ball that time by Braden Van Lake. He goes up and gets it one hand and still takes his time. No panic. He sees no rush coming. I like what he does. The longer you wait as a punter to punt the ball, if there's no pressure, it allows your coverage team to get down there. Ends up being almost a 50-yard net punt.
Helps to be a wide receiver. Right, there's the freshman quarterback for Cass Tech, Donald Tabron. And, his helmet doesn't, it's not that it's any different than anybody else. He just takes a lot of hits, and the paint gets scraped off. 6'3", 172 pounds, plays with great poise and throws a really nice ball. Keep an eye out for this young man in the coming seasons, because he's got great poise and he can spin it. Brings a man in motion, and he'll throw it on 1st down. To the outside, Graham. That's what the University of Colorado loves about him. Good catch, and even better after it.
We have a term for this, Shep. I call this cartoon speed. This is like when everyone else looks like they're going at a different pace than you, the ball carrier, because you were like the Speedy Gonzalez. As Alex Graham gets to the sidelines, he shifts into another gear. So if you're Hudsonville, you have to be careful. You have to have numbers on the perimeter to defend Alex Graham, and you're going to see C.J. Sadler, number 1, getting similar type of plays in this game.
Marvin Rushing says Alex Graham brings a confidence to our entire team. 1st and 10. Tabron to the air again. Another completion, this time to C.J. Sadler. It's a 1st down pitch and catch. The 2 guys you highlighted when we first came on the air are already making a difference.
You don't have to be a genius. This is Tabron gets the ball and just gets it to Sadler in space, and you better bring numbers, because C.J. Sadler is dynamic of a runner with the ball in his hands on the perimeters you will see in the state in a lot of years. I've covered him for 3 years, and he is incredible. He's one that you say you would go pay money to watch, and we're getting to see him free here today.
First carry of the day for Cass Tech. And that's Damari Hendricks, the sophomore, who works as hard as anybody on this team. He shares some time in the backfield with Julian Taylor, and they run behind an offensive line that averages 6'3", 280 pounds. Khalif Canty Jr. wears 55 in white. He's a 3-year starter. He is an absolute monster on the left edge, along with Josh Paramore, the right guard, who tips the scales at 300. Second and short for Tabron. Another give to Hendricks. Tough to find him, but Hudsonville did and threw him backwards. Hudsonville up front, 4 seniors on that defensive line. Isaac Vanderveen leads the team in tackles for loss with 9. Ethan Carter and Connor Britnall are the linebackers, with Ty Ikema named an all-conference selection. Trent Knobber, Johnny Karsten, and Keaton Ulbrich.
Loved him on the Tonight Show, by the way. When we got his name, it's Johnny Karsten. I know. But I first heard of the coach, I said, oh, really enjoyed him. And Coach, no. He said, I know you're going with it, Rob.
You're dating yourself a little bit there, my friend. 3rd and 1, 4-down territory for the technicians anyway. They're going to throw it, and out of bounds. Good coverage by Hudsonville downfield and decent pressure on the quarterback, Donald Tabron.
Yeah, John Shepard's number 53. He plays right on the center at the nose. You're going to see him come right up through the middle of the field here. Watch. He does a good job, fights through, keeps working, works his way up, gets a hand in the face. And Tabron, the freshman, now that's a freshman quarterback, remember now. Yeah. And he's been coached well by Marvin Rushing. When trouble presents itself, do not lose this possession. Throw the ball away. There's nothing wrong. Live to fight another day. Now they have a 4th and 1. And they bring in a little bit bigger running back, Julian Taylor.
And Taylor gets the call. Got the first down.
Well, you have the opportunity to see 3 running backs. Now, none of them. Taylor at 5'9", 172. He's a little bit more the downhill inside power runner. Really defended well by Hudsonville, coming up, getting pressure, coming from the weak side, making the tackle. Ethan Carter flying around inside.
Boy, think of that offensive backfield for Cass Tech. They've got a freshman quarterback. They've got a freshman and sophomore combo at the running back spot, and one of their best wide receivers is a junior in C.J. Sadler. Bright days ahead for sure. Tabron wants to throw. Pressure comes. He unloads. Wide open. He's got his man inside the 10. William Sykes, the junior, hauls in the pretty touch. It'll be 1st and goal for Cass Tech.
To Will Sykes. He stepped out at the 7-yard line. First down.
We're going to see, you don't see it early on. You're going to see the throw. It's a wheel route down the sideline. Sykes, what he does, he's lined up in the slot, Shep. Right here. He's going to come here and go right down the sideline. And we don't have him in the frame, but really, you see this all the time in high school. Anytime you have crossing routes down the field, it's tough for high school kids to stay with their coverage, whether it's zone or man. Sometimes they chase too long within the zone. Sometimes they get lost in man.
That was a pickup at 27, 1st and goal. On the ground to the 5-yard line, a gain of a couple for Julian Taylor. Taylor led this team in rushing touchdowns with 10 this year.
A gain of 2 and 2nd and goal from the 5.
Second and goal from the 5 for Cass Tech on their first possession of the night. Graham is to the short side. Sadler split wide to the right.
Man coverage.
They'll keep it on the ground. Taylor. Touchdown. 5-yard touchdown sprint. Cass Tech takes the early lead. That was Jalen Spates into the end zone.
Well, this is pretty easy here. Just down, kick out. See the H-back coming across. And just very well blocked. Nice crease by that offensive line. You see them blocking down. They're going to pull the backside guard. Joshua Paramore, he kicks out. They follow the H-back up through. GH power for Cass Tech on the touchdown.
George Sanchez Murillo is on for the extra point. The kick is up and the kick is good. And Cass Tech travels 81 yards. In 9 plays, they converted a key 4th down, and it's finished off by Jalen Spates from 5 yards away to give Cass Tech a 7-0 lead. Marvin Rushing's team draws first blood. How about the Rubik's Cube for their success today?
Well, it starts with the offense. You got a freshman quarterback. You had better keep him clean in the pocket if he's going to get the ball down the field. So a little protecting and serving by that offensive line. And then RESPECD. When you're in Motown, you're talking about Aretha, but more, you're talking about that guy right there, Marvin Rushing. One of the first things he said to me, Shep, and I'm sure he said it to you, we demand our players respect themselves and respect their opponent each and every week. And I thought that is so profound to get these kids to understand that it isn't about them. It's something bigger than them, and he's creating good human beings for life, not just high school players that can help them win a state championship. And love talking to Coach Rushing every year.
Agreed. Big into family, tough love, some honesty. Nothing wrong with that, right? Football builds values, he says. Good stewards in the community. I mean, earlier this year, Halloween, they went to the PAL program, gave candy away. And he says, I'm trying to build great husbands, great dads, great students, sons, and stewards in our community. It's words that everybody could live by. But he's not afraid to get after him. You got to be tough to play for Marvin Rushing, and it'll pay off in the end. Returnable from the 1. And slicing all the way to the 20-yard line. Our Rubik's Cube for Hudsonville as they take over on their second possession.
Well, Shep, I know you could probably guess what this means offensively. No pastry. Any ideas? No turnovers. Get it? You can't give Cass Tech any more possessions than they normally get. And then we look at defensively, you know what you're facing. When you got Sadler as a receiver and you have Graham as a receiver, you're in for double trouble for the entire day. So you have to account for them. You're going to have to put extra guys in coverage to help in certain situations. So, but if they can handle those 2 things, they're going to have an opportunity to come away with the dub. You like that no pastry, except you disagree with it because you're a big sweet guy. I know that.
Excellent leadership on Brent Sandy's team. A lot of guys have taken ownership, and a flag on the play. It's not a delay of game. They snapped it with 9 on the play clock. Scott Walendowski is mic'd up.
Dead ball. False start. Number 56 on the offense. 5 yards. Still first down.
Yeah, a little bit of a ride. This crew comes from the southwest corner. We had actually a southwest corner team in the finals in Niles. And so this is a crew that makes the trip across the state. And hopefully we don't talk much about them. That means they're doing good work.
Bryce Fox is the lone setback next to Griffin Baker. And he gets the call. Tough sledding on the right side. Brought down by Marcus Jennings.
Fox stopped by Fernandez.
And Gavin Fernandez.
Yeah, Marcus Jennings, the outside linebacker, 6'2", 183, only a junior. You know, he had a nice play open in this game. Shep, in that opening kickoff, he rolls the would-be blocker and makes a solo tackle on the kick returner. So it's Coach Rushing believes in getting your players on the field. A lot of coaches will try to get some of their backups in special teams. Coach Rushing, when you're playing your starters, you take it serious. You understand the value of return game.
Baker will keep it himself. And brought down close to the 20-yard line. The thing that has kept Hudsonville fresh all season long is the fact they don't have one player who goes both ways.
And that's
they are deep enough.
Yeah, they are. Well, you can look at the sidelines. They have a huge in their roster. Now, obviously, they bring up freshmen inside their, freshman JV programs. They reward them with a trip to Ford Field as well. But they do go too deep, and they try to rotate, go 22 starters, keep them fresh, which also is great for coaching during the course of a game. You could take the entire defense from not on the field and talk to them what's going on. So those adjustments are much easily administered.
3rd down and 11 for Griffin Baker in Hudsonville. Has to throw against a 3-man rush. Rolls, pressure from the backside, spinning away, and now he's swallowed up inside the 10-yard line. Antoine Hall Jr. led the pack. Brian Stovall was there as well, 16 in white. And Hudsonville will punt it away again.
We're going to see the pressure coming. Griffin Baker has a little bit of time. Then he tries to go right. Then he spins back to the left. And you see big number 9, John Baker the fourth, getting in there to make a play. And downfield, he wants to go with the ball, but where do you go? I mean, you look at, there's a white shirt shadowing the blue shirts all the way down the field. So as a head coach, Brett Sandy will tell you, we'll take the sack ahead of the pick.
Short punt, a bad one that takes a Cass Tech bounce. It'll be down at the 19-yard line. Rough start for Hudsonville. Cass Tech a chance to pounce and go up 2 scores when we return.
Welcome back in. Cass Tech up 7-0. They have quite a few alum in the NFL. There's 5 active players: Jordan Lewis, Delshawn Phillips, Mike Owenu, Donovan Peoples-Jones, and Jalen Graham. Really, any of those kids in the NFL right now. Marvin Rushing was a part of the staff when they came through Cass Tech. Shep and Rubes, there are not many schools in the country walking around with 5 NFL players. And the total number of Cass Tech players ever in the NFL is 21.
Wow. Wow. Yeah, quite a tradition, man. I mean, really good players coming out of there.
Well, you know, I know you're a North Farmington guy, Shep, but Newberry High School in the UP had 2, believe it or not. 2 NFL players from Newberry. And if you could name the other one, I will make your house payments for the next 2 years.
I'm not sure, Rubes.
Okay.
I'm not even sure I can name the first one.
I'm not the first. I'm the other one.
All right, first down from the 18 of Hudsonville. And Cass Tech on the ground. That's their 4th different ball carrier, Carson Lovett. So Julian Taylor has carried the rock. Damari Hendricks, Carson Lovett, Jalen Spates has the touchdown. And Cass Tech showcasing a lot of their depth early on.
2-yard gain. It's 2nd and 8.
It's a gain of just a couple. The one thing last week in the semifinal game against Catholic Central could run the football on Cass Tech. Hudsonville has not been able to do that in their first 2 drives so far. Tabron wants to throw. Strong arms it. Sadler. Touchdown. That was a rocket.
Touchdown. Cass Tech.
And here's the conundrum when you see Corey Sadler. He's up high here at the top. Look at the cushion. But if you don't, you're afraid that he's going to go by you. But you have to remember, you're on the plus 20. You're not defending anything behind you. You should be tighter than that. Now, you're not going to get up and play press because he's too quick and too explosive. But you can tighten down your split maybe to about 6 or 7 yards. You're giving him 12-yard cushion. He can make his break, and you're still 5 yards away. And I know you have a freshman quarterback, but anyone worth their salt in the pocket there would deliver that ball. Easy touchdown.
8th receiving touchdown for C.J. Sadler this year.
Look at Donald Tabron. He says, I could do that now. There's a lot of room in there, and he puts the ball right where it needs to be.
Rubes, how about the time he had, too? Just all kinds of time. The big fellas up front doing a really good job of protecting their freshman quarterback, who plays like anything but a freshman, has really grown into the role. The thing Marvin Rushing loves about his freshman signal caller is that it's about the team, not about him. Short memory for success and failure. He'll forget about it quickly and move on.
You know, and when I talked to him, he gave me some more, he said humble and coachable.
Yeah.
And he said anytime you get a player that's humble and coachable, the learning curve for that player goes much more quickly. Is because they will listen to help. And he said his work ethic, Shep, as you were kind of alluding to, is second to none. That he's a gym rat. He wants to be there all the time. He's a sponge. He soaks it up. And we've seen some really good quarterbacks over the year come through Cass Tech. And I think he's just the next one in the line, a long lineage of really outstanding Qs that played in the city.
Well, what I love most about it is the fact that he says he comes from great stock. His mom and dad don't just hand him everything. He's got to work for everything. And I love that philosophy. See if Hudsonville can get something going here. Not on special teams. Not so far. Cass Tech continues to play well in every phase. Jeremiah Taylor with the tackle.
Well, it's crunch time. You're going to watch number 28. It's going to come into your picture. Slow it down. Pause it right here. Pause it. Right here. Let's keep an eye on him. Watch him hunt. Let that dog hunt. And he comes from the side, the blind side, and he finishes that tackle. You want to play special teams? I used to be in that wedge back in the day, and boy, I hated that. Yeah, that's a tough way to make a living right there for any young man.
Got to have a different mindset to play that on a regular basis.
Now let's see if the Eagles can get something going here. Get back to what they do best. That's try to run that GH or GT power game.
Off play action. Nice roll, nice throw. It's complete. Best offensive plays so far of the night for Hudsonville. Cash Tenhave on the receiving end of that toss to get a first down.
Well, this kind of resembles you're going to see Tenhave come all the way through and then release into the flat. He's been kicking out a lot, blocking that defensive end. Now this time they just let him get into the flood area, throw him the ball. Similar to a flood pass I see in Lapeer a lot with the H-back. When he comes in motion, Shep, and he keeps hitting that end or turning up and pound. All of a sudden you leak him into the flat, he becomes open.
Picked up 15 on the play. On the ground right side, Owen Harzma with the carry. That's the last play of the first quarter. Cass Tech has taken advantage of their offense and field position for certain. Jalen Spates had the first touchdown of the night from 5 yards away. After a poor punt and pressure by the Cass Tech defense, they took advantage. On the second play of the drive, Tabron to Sadler. And Coach Rushing can get up. He's in shape. He's got hops, and his team is up 14-zip. This special presentation of the MHSAA Football Finals is brought to you by Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical. Family is not just our name of our company, but the way we do business. It's by your local Toyota dealer. For all Toyota offers, visit Toyota.com. And by the Michigan Achievement Scholarship. It's a game changer. 14-0 Cass Tech in front. Hudsonville trying to drive. These two teams didn't have too far to drive. At least Cass Tech did. They could walk to Ford Field. They didn't today. That doesn't make them soft. It makes them smart because of the snow and the slippery ice. Hudsonville on the west side of the state. And what a season it has been for the Eagles. As we mentioned, their lone loss coming to Howell in week 1 by 3 points. They avenged that loss with a blowout win over Howell in the regional finals, 35-6. Griffin Baker, the senior quarterback, they run a reverse. And ball on the ground. Who's got it after Van Lake fumbled it away? And it is Hudsonville ball. They retain possession. Jack Wills at the bottom of the pile. No. Alex Graham, they say, had the fumble first.
We're going to get a look here. You see Van Lake. Ball is out.
No question.
And it is, looks like recovery. Yep. I think it gets rustled away in the bottom of the pile, but I like that. The official has a good view. Once a player has it in possession, you can't rustle it away. He has possession, he's down, the play's over. It doesn't matter if you pull it out from underneath the pile. That is the right call.
Actually, Logan Howell was in the bottom of the pile.
First down.
Logan Howell, the defensive lineman, is the one who recovered it.
You know, here's another look, but, you know, just this play in general, it's a reverse, but it's so quick of a reverse, it does not allow the defense to flow with the first ball carrier. It's, you know, that they start going out when they hand it back, so the defense is already just playing straight up, is just kind of waiting for you to come back. You need to run it longer, show it quicker, let them start to flow against it to create some counter motion.
Drive started well for Hudsonville with a big 15-yard pass connection. Instead, on the turnover, they'll rely on their defense, and the defense stands tall on that carry right there. Ryan Ackerman on the tackle there.
No game, 2nd and 10.
The young Hudsonville fans still believe.
Let's see. Let's watch back here. because now you got single coverage. You see that safety starts to cheat over a little bit over the top, because you're leaving your corner on an island with one of the most dynamic players in the state of Michigan.
4 wide receiver set. Alex Graham has it. There's that dynamic player breaking a tackle to the outside. Stayed in bounds to sneak inside the 20 and a first down play.
Well, once again, Shep, as you said, a lot of time in the pocket for Tabron. He's just going to step back. He's going to look to his right, really kind of follow the receiver. Alex Graham the entire way just sits down in the zone, and it's just unbelievable. You can see why he's a Power 5 player, or Power 4 now, rather. There's only 4 conferences, big ones. And just a little show it to you, take it away, and then get to the edge and accelerate.
Pickup of 22, headed to Colorado after this season. Four wide receiver set remains for Cass Tech. Damari Hendricks is the lone setback. And a whistle to stop play before the snap.
Whistle before the snap.
Delay a game. Offense number 19. 5 yards. First down.
5-yard penalty moves the ball to the 22-yard line. It's 1st and 15.
You know, the quarterback always gets saddled with that delay of game penalty. Sometimes the quarterback says, hey, it's on that guy there. Point to the coach. The coordinator say, he didn't give me the play in time.
Right.
Why are you calling me out?
Wants to throw. Has Graham again inside the 15-yard line this time. It's good coverage, but just better
You're
execution.
going to take a look at this. If you want time in the pocket, watch these guys up front, how they protect the young quarterback. The blitz comes up the middle, and just enough. You know, you don't have to deplete the guy when he comes up the middle, like Ethan Carter was coming there, but really a good job by the tailback. I think it was Julian, number 20, stepping up in the pocket. That was Marvin McCallum. Also plays linebacker as well.
Second down and 7 for Cass Tech. Hendricks. Nope, it's Tabron who keeps it. Good discipline on the part of Hudsonville to wrap up the freshman quarterback. Isaac Vanderveen on the tackle.
Interesting call there, Shep.
Yeah.
You run a little quarterback keep with a freshman quarterback inside the red zone when you've having so much success with that young man dropping back and spinning the ball with Graham and C.J. Sadler outside. It's a tough matchup. Now, let's see if Hudsonville changes it all. Remember last time they're on the other end when Cass Tech was going in? A lot of cushion on the outside. Let's see if they try to snug it down a little bit to help take that easy slant away. Now look, he's playing with leverage too. He's playing inside on the high side.
Pressure comes. Tabron unloads, and it is caught. Hauled in by William Sykes on a beautiful catch. And Tabron hung in there, knew he was going to get drilled. He did, but not before he completed the first down pass.
Well, Sykes is going to be in the left side to the slot. He's just going to go up 5 yards and running out. Off the back foot, backpedaling. That's a big-time throw by a freshman quarterback. Think about it. Remember your kids played freshman football? You know, it's like it was never hitting. It was always like get there and pull the person down. Well, this young man's playing in the state finals at Ford Field against the other best team in the state, Division I, and he's making throws like that.
Cass Tech's offense is making it look easy right now. They got to hurry. And the give. And a cutback inside the 5. Good run by Carson Lovett on 1st and goal.
Shep, I'm starting to feel like the Hudsonville front 7 is figured out the run game and doing a better job of slowing the run game down of Cass Tech. It's just on the perimeter where they're struggling now with the passing game and applying pressure. So if you're, Coach Brent Sandy, do you start bringing extra bodies and expose yourself with only 4 or 5 in coverage against those dynamic receivers? It's one of those problems you have to kind of break down and talk to your assistant and say, hey, where do you feel more confident?
Yeah, and if you're going to bring pressure, you better get there, because if you don't, he's going to pick you apart.
This is right here. I'm going here right now. I don't care what combination you run.
He does on a slant route, knocked away. Good coverage on that slant route by Johnny Karsten.
And Carson does a good job. He's playing a little bit on the outside shoulder, a little play fake, comes back and tries to throw, and Carson with a good break of the ball. It was thrown a little bit behind C.J. Sadler where he's slowing down.
I think that ball was tipped. I think it was Ryan Ackerman who tipped it. That's why it came out kind of funny. Let's see.
They better hurry, get this play in. Once again, they may have to take a timeout. Well, absolutely. That's why the ball goes back. Good eye, Shep.
3rd and goal from the 6. And a timeout for Cass Tech because the play clock was at 1.
Timeout. Cass Tech. That's their first timeout of the half.
Every day in Michigan, investigators work hard to keep people safe on.
And now a message from Family Heating, Cooling, and Electric.
Family is not just our name, it's the way we do business.
My father chose the name Family Heating because he wanted our company to treat everyone like family. You'll see the difference family makes.
It's interesting, Marvin Rushing felt like his team got pushed around a little bit last year, so asked his guys, I need some more off-season commitment from you. I need you to in the weight room. I need you to take this a little bit more seriously. They have done it. They have responded. They look good.
I told you last week when you were there, Shep, and I saw that physicality. It's been a few years. I remember, it was, I don't know, about 20 years ago they played Catholic Central in the finals, and that was one of the most physical high school teams. They were buckling the guards of CC. They're trying to run that power game, and their defensive ends were just coming downhill, and it was a thing of beauty to watch that type of aggression on defense. It just, you want to stop a run game, a team that likes to pull their guards, you meet them at the point of attack and buckle their knees.
3rd and goal for him. Corner of the end zone. Did he stay in? He did. Touchdown, Cass Tech. C.J. Sadler with an NFL-like grab.
Well, we're going to get another look at this. The official is Johnny on the spot. And this throw is beautiful by Tabron. He really throws it. The only one who has a chance. Oh, yeah, what a call. Ooh, yeah, what a call. Both officials right there in position. I like they kind of look at each other, check. You had it, I had it. That's a touchdown. Way to hide. No, CJ's only 5'10", but very explosive.
But they go right after Hudsonville's best cover corner, Ty Ikema. It didn't matter. He let his teammate make a play, and he did just that from 6 yards away to put his team up 20-0. The extra point is through. The offensive game for Cass Tech has been a nice complement to their strong defense. For the 2nd time tonight, the freshman, Donald Tabron, finds his junior teammate, C.J. Sadler, for 6 points, and they're up 21 at Ford Field.
Welcome back into Ford Field. Cass Tech leading this one 21-0. Now there's 2 members of this Hudsonville football team whose roots go back to the other side of the world, and you've already heard both of their names tonight. Both Owen Harzma and Ryan Ackerman were adopted from the same orphanage in Uganda at just 6 years old, but both went to separate families. The Harzmas were on a mission trip over there, adopted Owen and eventually 4 of their other children from that same orphanage. They convinced their neighbors, the Ackermans, to make a trip over there as well. They end up going and adopting Ryan. They come back here to Michigan in Hudsonville, growing up great friends, started playing football, and now playing for a state championship together. Their lives weren't always easy growing up, but the Harzma and Ackerman families gave them new hope, new life, and then let's add tonight's state championship to that, guys.
And what a thrill it is for them to play this game of football. And yeah, doing it here on the biggest stage, a memory they will be able to keep with them forever. But so far it's been an early nightmare for Hudsonville, because Cass Tech has done whatever they want offensively, and defensively they have been as stout in this game as we have seen all season long. On the return, Ricky Browley. Good speed to get to the 29-yard line.
Good job coming down in coverage, number 14 in green, Lamarcus Army. Making that tackle, Shep. And it looks like there was something developing there. It looked like there was going to be a crease, and it just... Cass Tech has a way of closing from the side so quickly, and just taking lanes that you think are there, and they make them in traffic jams quickly.
So how does Griffin Baker and the offense find some type of rhythm?
I really think they showed a little signs of life in the power game last time. They were able to get 3-4 yards carry. I think you might just kind of stick with it a little bit, use that H-back in motion, and you got to try to establish that run game, because this is who you are. This is what you do. You can't come out and just start throwing it. We saw that happen to Frankenmuth in the last game and how they struggled.
They average over 217 yards per game on the ground, but it has been really tough to pick up any yards so far here tonight. Bryce Fox with a couple of yards gain. They'll give him 3. It'll be 2nd down and 7.
A gain of 3, 2nd and 7.
Baker goes under center.
That looked familiar, Shep, like last game. Remember when the team when they become one-dimensional, where they just run the ball, that defense just keeps coming up tighter and tighter and tighter.
Dead ball. Defense encroachment. 5 yards. Repeat 2nd down.
A rare mistake by Cass Tech so far.
What do they call it, encroachment again? He didn't encroach, he came across.
Yeah.
Because encroachment means you're kind of getting there. But
it's a fancy way to say offsides. They had the same setup. They were going to run the same play, but Owen Harzma stuck almost as immediately as he got it. He's a yard short of the 1st down. Hudsonville almost in that must-score situation, down 21. Harzma again. No, it's going to be Baker who follows him through the hole. 1st down for Hudsonville.
But we saw, is it me or is this looking a lot like the last game where one team right here, Hudsonville, trying to move the ball. Everything is so hard to do. I mean, everything they had, even with the 5-yard penalty, just to move the sticks one time. They got to find something. Coach Sandy's got to find something where they can get some yards and put a little bit of fear in that defense.
They stay on the ground. And a cutback by Bryce Fox. Might have picked up a couple. The other hard thing is against this Cass Tech team, when you try and throw, because they have 2 Division I corners, how do you beat them through the air?
Yeah, you don't. See, they can lock you down. I mean, if you have one lockdown corner at any level, it's such an advantage. Well, when you have 2, it basically takes the entire passing game except the middle of the field. Well, the safeties are pretty good too.
Yeah.
And you remember, Alex Graham doesn't play corner all the time. They move him inside quite a bit. And Coach Rushing thinks that's where he'll end up at playing the collegiate level, inside, because he's still growing and he's going to be big enough to be that safety. And he said with that type of speed, he would be a game changer.
Baker holds on to it. Gets a good forward push for a couple of more yards.
Baker tackled by Fernandez.
Haven't really had any explosive plays except for that 15-yard throw from Baker to one of his receivers, Cash Tenhave. Other than that, it's been just kind of Pac-Man-ing a little bit against Cass Tech's defense. We're at 5:40 left in the opening half, too. Baker out of the pistol formation. Harzma the lone setback and gets the call. Dragging would-be tacklers to the 50-yard line before he's shoved backwards. Marvin McCallum made the tackle. He's 20 in white. He might be the best example, according to Marvin Rushing, the best example of a development player. He's worked so hard on developing his body, came in and knew that he had to get stronger because he wasn't going to get a whole lot taller, and he's been really good.
Well, right now I think Coach Sandy's going to roll the dice a little bit. As the play clock starting to wind down, he realized that if he gives that ball up again and they get another touchdown, this game will be in the dumps for him. So he's going to bring in the big power load look and look for him just, we're going to time out by Marvin Rushing, but they're looking to just maybe run some power off tackle, try to get that 2 yards, get a push.
That's their 2nd time out of the half.
You can feel it, can't you? I mean, you feel it in the building that this is a must situation for Hudsonville, right?
Absolutely. I mean, this is, I say do or die because there's still, 2.5 quarters, but it truly is do or die. Because you give up the ball at midfield here, this allows Cass Tech a short field. We've seen how they move with the long field. You could be looking at a 28-0 deficit at halftime.
Yeah, one of the keys for Hudsonville's offense, obviously the men up front, but Bryce Fox, their talented tailback, during the season, he averages well over 4.5 yards per carry. In this game so far, it's closer to 3 yards per touch. And that adds up during the length of a season, or during a game, at least in this case. Hudsonville felt like they played some big teams, some teams like East Kentwood and Caledonia, similar to Cass Tech. And Cass Tech felt like they played some really physical teams like Rockford and Dakota, which is a tough place to win. Even CC, which is really physical. Last week in the semis. Biggest play of the half for Hudsonville on a 4th and 2.
Look at this formation, trying to guess. If you see some motion, but if you don't see motion, I got to believe they're targeting this area if they don't motion the H-back away.
Baker will keep it.
He's short.
Didn't get it. Too much push up front from Cass Tech, led by Brian Stover and Colin Simpter.
Well, they went to the loaded side as we thought they would, Shep, and we're going to see. But let's watch the front. Let's watch the push in the log jam we get here with these 4 gentlemen in the white shirts are coming to the party. And they're meeting the blockers on the other side of the line of scrimmage, and that's what you want to see with the defense. Get penetration, move the line of scrimmage back, so even if they get to the original line of scrimmage, they're still going to be short. So that's just, we call that triggering. How quick can you read and react and explode? And this team right here does an unbelievable job at it.
Cass Tech's got 2 really good defensive ends, Stovall and Baker. They give it back to the offensive midfield. They want to throw on a curl route, Graham. And he's brought down immediately. Ikema was the first one to him. A pickup of a few yards.
A gain of 3. It's 2nd down and 7.
You look at Alex Graham. Look at this right here, this red toe hanging. I wonder if it's like those clowns when you grab it, you think you got him, it just keeps pulling for like 50 yards. It keeps coming out.
Yeah, right. Well, he's having the last laugh right now, I can tell you that. On a 2nd down and 7, he split to the short side of the field. They go the other way to Sadler. Sadler with a nice adjustment, but he's swallowed up right away.
Tabron's pass complete to Sadler.
Luke Brodnick finished him off. Jaron Osting made the first contact.
Hey, you want to talk about effort. We're going to watch Luke Brodnicki. He's right here. Let it go. He pressures. It's not there. Watch him. Keeps going. 84. Go. Cups back. And that's why you tell your guys, rally to the football. Sadler wants to cut that back inside with all the action going out. When he comes back inside, it's a defensive tackle, defensive end, and Brodnicki that makes the play. Nice effort.
3rd down and 8 with under 3.5 to go in the opening half. Hudsonville jumping around a lot on defense. On the ground, and they stuck him. That was Jalen Spates, hit by Ethan Carter.
I think when I talked to Coach Sutton, they call this, they have a name for this. I think it was dime. They have everyone standing up. No one's in a 2-point. They're all just moving around. So it's hard to get a beat on where they're coming from. As you can see, he said you might see it. Well, he's pulling out all the stops, and we did see it.
They require the best. That's what Wilson has delivered for over 100 years.
Cass Tech will have to punt it away. So pretty good job by that Hudsonville defense after their offense failed to convert a 4th down and 2. The defense gave up just a couple of yards. Remember, Cass Tech took it over at the 50-yard line, gave up just a couple of yards.
Now, Shep, I'm thinking if you're Cass and Marvin rushing, I just punted here. You're 4th and 8. Now, your defense is playing phenomenal. I understand that. But if they're playing phenomenal, you punt them deep. You get a 3 and out. You get the ball right back here with no risk.
Yeah,
now,
that's what they're going to do.
Okay,
yeah.
All right. I thought we were talking about them going for it, because I'm thinking it's all about risk and reward. And right now the risk is too high, because if you don't get it, it allows Hudsonville a chance to get points before the half, give them some confidence, and instead of going in 21-0, could have been a 21-7 game. Now you give your defense a much better opportunity defending the long field.
George Sanchez Murillo, not just their kicker, but also their punter. High snap, handled. Braylon Miller from his 15. And hit at the 25-yard line. Under 3 minutes to go. Can Hudsonville generate enough offense to get on the board before the break? It's been all Cass Tech in the first half. And now a message from your Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. This special presentation of the MHSAA Football Finals is proudly presented by your Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. Cass Tech has been here before. In fact, 2011 against Catholic Central. J. Rue Campbell, just a freshman, able to lead them to a blowout win over Catholic Central, 49-13, stunning just about everybody in the building. He was on target all night long, and they celebrated an impressive win over Catholic Central that season. They came back the following year, beat CC in 2012, and then in 2016 beat them again.
CC each time.
Each time. And of course they beat Catholic Central last weekend in the semifinals. Let's see what Hudsonville does here on an inside give and a really tough run by Cash Tenhave.
A little misdirection. Nice job. We're going to look at this. Pause it on the start. We're going to look at where Tenhave is. He's going to be lined up on the right side. And he's just going to come underneath. The motion is going to look like it's going to go this way. This little counter underneath. You see him fake the jet and then give it back to Tenhave coming from the H spot on the right. Nice play. Got a little room there.
Enough to pick up 8. They'll throw. Picked off! Alex Graham jumped around and brought it back to the 19-yard line. Does it offensively and defensively. The instincts are unreal.
Well, you got corners outside like Sadler and Wilcoxon, and then you got a guy like Graham in safety. Now, he's right here. You're going to see him, and he's going to read the play. He's going to backpedal a little bit. He's reading the quarterback. Look at the quarterback. He sees him start to focus in, and he just undercuts it. Now, that's, you can coach, Shep. You can coach a lot of defensive backs for a lot of time. But this guy has innate ability that he understands how to read with his eyes, how to look at the quarterback, to figure out where he's going with the ball prior to it happening. When you can predict the future as a player, you become a pretty good player.
Third interception of the year for Alex Graham. Tabron with a pump fake, wide open. Touchdown, Cass Tech. Second time that they've connected for 6. William Sykes on the receiving end of that touchdown.
Well, this is a coverage team right now in the back end that is really lost and confused, because he's going to come right from here in the slot and go behind, and everyone here is going to be jumping and playing the zone. Let it go. And he's just able to he gets released. You see 2 on 1. None on the other one. And there's no way the safety in that situation is going to be able to come across and help in that play. And, it's tough enough when you're not blowing coverages to defend this team with this type of ability. When you're blowing coverages, it just becomes a nightmare.
It's actually the first touchdown connection between Tabron and Sykes, but the third connection overall.
Half the distance on time down.
It's really tough to get back in games if you turn it over against really good football teams. Hudsonville has done that by failing to convert a 4th down, and then did it again here on the interception. High snap, and they're not going to be able to handle it. They try to make something out of it, but Seth Sendry is stopped shy of the goal line.
Seth actually started this season as the starting quarterback early on in the season. Well, it all started, Shep, a few plays back with Graham on the interception. Alex does a nice job of reading the quarterback, undercutting the route, and then using the great hands that he's blessed with. And then they have the broken coverage in the back end and the easy touchdown, finding the wide open receiver, in that case, Will Sykes. And they go over and celebrate a little bit. They have a lot to celebrate. I mean, 27 rather, after the botched extra point. Yeah, it's I don't think I've ever done two games back-to-back that mirror each other as much as we're seeing here, where one team has the ability to throw the ball like we saw with Notre Dame Prep last game, but the other team is a run-based offense that can't get it going like we saw with Frankenmuth. And it's just another game similar to that, Shep, with Cass Tech, the ability to throw the ball with athletes all over the field, and Hudsonville, who's used to being able to be physical, run the ball up front, get that 4 or 5 yard run going, and they've just been unable to do that the entire first half.
It's amazing, Rubes. Last year, most, if not every game was close in the state finals. This year, not many, if any, have been close.
Right. I mean, we had Orchard Lake and Byron Center was 14-13 at half. Now it ended up being about a 17-point win, 16-point win for Orchard Lake.
Miller on the return. And a good return before he's twisted around at the 28-yard line.
And guess who got him? Number 28 again, Jeremiah Taylor. Second solo tackle on kick coverage for Jeremiah. It's one thing if you're Coach Rush, you can tell your fellas during the week, say, hey, you're not starting, you're not playing on offense or defense, you're probably not going to get mentioned. But you get down there in special teams, make a tackle, and you're going to get your name on recognized. And when you make every tackle like he's been doing the last few times down, we're going to get a lot of love to Jeremiah Taylor. How about this front, though? Let's look at this front. With John Baker the fourth, and Gavin Fernandez, Logan Howell, Brian Stover. They have dictated the physicality of this game. They have plugged everything up, taken that run game away, and really left Hudsonville and Coach Sandy just grasping at straws here, Shep. There's just, you're like, what do you do? I mean, this is what we do. We can't do that. Then what do you do?
There's Gavin Fernandez, the junior, who can play inside or outside for Cass Tech. Martez Livingston, a backup defensive tackle, made the tackle on that last Griffin Baker carry. Minute and a half to go in the half. Empty set. Low throw, but a good catch. And did that ball pop loose? It did. And Cass Tech recovered it. John Baker the fourth gobbled it up when it hit the deck.
Fumble recovered by Cass Tech.
There it is. Baker sees it, pounces on it, and Cass Tech forces their second turnover of the night.
John Baker the fourth making the play. And last year, Shep, we called a game, or 2 years ago down at Cass. I think it was Cass King. And I got a little early, so I started tailgating with some of the dads of Cass. And John Baker the third said, my son's only a sophomore, but he's coming up. You'll hear his name. Sure enough. So he sent me a text here today that his son was playing and starting. He said, but it all started with Grandpa, who played in the NFL.
Wow.
Yeah. He sent me a video of his dad making a sack against the Jets.
They want it all. Incomplete. And John Baker, this kid's a big kid, Rubes. He's 6'5", 220 pounds.
Oh, yeah. He's going to have a future
He's
moving
athletic,
on,
no doubt.
Playing in somewhere else. I mean, but he was a little bit of a late bloomer, and Dad stressed that to me. Now, Dad was very proud of his son, even though he was only either a freshman or sophomore. But he said, you keep an eye on him. He said, we got a lot of talent here. It's hard to, crack the system when you're young. But all I know is they had the grills going, the smoker going, and I had barbecue that was second to none. I know they talk about Kansas City and Nashville and all these other places, Texas. Hey, Cass Tech High School, you tailgate outside, you get some of the best barbecue there is.
So Papa Baker is a prophet.
Oh, yeah.
He's a prophet, and he's a pretty good cook. I get it. I get it.
And he can talk too. He was a storyteller. I was willing to listen because I was getting free food out of it. So
that's all it takes, folks. Rubes has a bending ear for anybody who's offering free vittles. All right, 3rd down and 10 for Cass Tech. Up 27-zip. A spin around and a sneaky play to C.J. Sadler, who gets to the 27.
Tabron with a pass to Sadler.
Timeout. Cass Tech. That's our last time out of the half.
They're trying to run a little slip screen. We're going to take a look. Keep an eye on Tabron. A little spin move. Trust that his receiver is going to be there when he comes back. There's a defender right in his face, and he has to kind of adjust his throw, a little sidearm.
Yeah, look at the arm angles.
Different throwing slots with quarterbacks. You know, and I really think, and one of my friends, Gary Danielson's been preaching this for years, Chef, and you know Gary, and
yeah.
He says that he would teach young quarterbacks not the classic Tom Brady delivery anymore. He said, I would teach them, obviously you want to have the good mechanics, but he says you need to make them baseball players like a Stafford or Patrick Mahomes, where they can throw from the side, 3/4, over the top. They need to ad-lib with the pressure and the speed of the game, even at this level, and we just saw it with this young quarterback.
I remember at one point when Matthew Stafford used to do that, he was ridiculed.
Yes, I do remember that.
By ex-quarterbacks at the highest
look,
level.
That's not good form.
Yeah, it's not good
now
form.
He does it, it's like, why doesn't everyone do that?
Exactly.
He was just being an athlete.
Because it's not easy. Hey, at halftime, we're going to go sound up on the best moments in the finals history, 50 years to look back on. We're going to show the 7 Crown State champions so far this weekend, and we hear from both head coaches, so stay with us at the break. Cass Tech going for it. Damari Hendricks, the lone setback to the right of the quarterback, Donald Tabron, who wants to throw. Pressure comes, and Hudsonville gets home. Jalen Oosting.
Oosting's going to get pressure. He's going to finish this. It's really a good highlight for Hudsonville to end the half with. Oosting just coming from his defensive end spot, number 10, and he comes through. And if he doesn't get him, there's other pressure coming as well, as his teammate and good buddy, Owen Harzma, was coming in. So something positive heading into the half. Coach can talk to his team about and say, hey, it's 27-0. I know we just did the same bit last game, but we get to come out. We get to keep playing. You know, we're here. Let's try to do ourselves proud. Let's still compete.
Been a tough night so far for Griffin Baker. 3 rushing touchdowns and a passing touchdown last weekend. Just has not been able to get on track at all.
Timeout. Hudsonville.
Just 25 seconds remaining in this half. And Cass Tech will get the football to start the second half, I might add. There's always help wanted when it comes to high school athletics. Game officials. Every year, more than 1,000 new officials are needed across dozens of MHSAA sports. Signing up is easy. To become a registered high school game official, visit MHSAA.com today. Hudsonville knew Cass Tech was going to be good. They knew they were going to be big. They knew they were going to be athletic. They have seen the best that Cass Tech has to offer in this first half. Baker's going to throw. Nope, he's going to tuck it and run and spin his way to the 40-yard line.
Baker wrapped up by Sumter.
That should be it for the first half. Unless they want to burn their final timeout, which they will do with 2 seconds left.
Timeout. Hudsonville. That's their final timeout.
You know, we talked to Coach Rushing too, Shep, and he said one thing that benefits him is, and he said this is not a knock. He said, but our conference is not super strong. But he says what we try to do to make up is really play a tough non-conference schedule. I mean, they open up, they lose to Rockford, they lose to King early in the year. Now they get King in the PSL championship game and end up beating them 30-14 on the game. But look, they go into Ohio. They play Sterling Heights Stevenson out of the Macomb Red. Macomb, Dakota, they get caught in the playoffs. But they need to do that. They need to kind of stiffen up in order to get, you know, the competition they need.
But isn't it interesting? Cass Tech lost to Rockford at the beginning of the year. Rockford later in the season lost to this Hudsonville team by 7. Baker throws, and it is caught and wrapped up right away at the 42-yard line for a minimal gain and a way to end the first half. Quinn Paul on the receiving end of that toss. A dominating performance in this first half by Cass Tech. They did it offensively. They did it defensively as well. They forced a couple of turnovers, and they used their strength up front to really dominate.
Yep. Shep, after the last couple minutes, it's you want to find the silver lining for the Hudsonville Eagles. It was a tough half. They were just out-personneled. They were out-physical. And that happens when you play a very talented team. Sometimes you got to tell your team, okay, they're going to be highly skilled, but we're going to be very physical. Well, not only is Cass Tech highly skilled, they're also pretty physical up front.
This Cass Tech team started the year 2-2, and so many were telling kids what they should do. Instead, Coach Rushing brought them together, kept them focused, and they have reeled off a number of impressive wins, and they were impressive in the first half. The coach is with Natalie Kerr.
Coach, what do you like about the way Donald Tabron has commanded your offense today?
Right now, he's really been composed. He's been relaxed. He's taking what's there. He's playing like a veteran right now.
2 forced turnovers by your defense. How much of an impact have they had on this game?
Well, we expected that. The kids set a goal this week to have a minimum of 2 turnovers. We work it every day. It's the last thing we do in defense for 5 minutes in the day is turn turnovers. So I'm glad to see practice translate to game.
Appreciate it, Coach. Thank you.
Thank you.
Really good stuff from Marvin Rushing. Has to be pleased. He and his coaches can smile inside that locker room. They've got playmakers on both sides of the ball, and they were highlighted throughout the first half. They're up comfortably at Ford Field 27-zip in the final football game of the high school season.
Cass Tech up 27-0 in this Division I state final here at Ford Field. In addition to this being the 100th year of the MHSAA, it's the 50th year of the finals, and our network has broadcasted more than half of those games, going all the way back to 1998. There's been so many sights and sounds and memories from all those years here at the finals, and we want to share some of those with you. Let's take a look back.
Strap your helmets up.
Find a way, somehow, in everything that you have in your body to represent the blue and gold, and everybody in our community that wishes that they can put that helmet on with you.
What's in your heart? I know what you're feeling. It's down in the pit and your stomach down.
All year, you showed up and you showed out.
Guys, enjoy it, have fun, stay together, do what got you here.
Been working since January. It's your turn. It's your time.
Before we go out there, I want you to think, okay? I want you to think about the first time you put on that football uniform.
This is why you play football, right? Why else do you play football but to go out there and win a state championship?
And the ball is caught! Touchdown, King!
History for Chelsea!
Follow loses it at the goal line, and the ball is recovered in the end zone. Muskegon gets it back.
Oh, my! That's it. Brother Rice has, in fact, defended their state championship.
Leave it on the field. That's all I'm asking. Leave it on the field and embrace it. And we love you guys, man. Love you. Let's get after it. Got me? Let's go.
Whatever happens, stay together.
So I know the people in this room were ready for this weeks ago.
This is it. We got to treat this like this our last Friday with each other. I can't promise you nothing else after this Friday.
What we should care about is this exact moment. It's a moment in time where you have to demonstrate courage.
And I know how you're built. And I believe in every single one of you guys. I love every single one of you guys.
Bryce, Underwood, yes!
He's gone again. What a game. And what a player.
And maybe the final passing touchdown in one of the finest high school football careers the state of Michigan has ever seen.
Rose bounces his way in for his second touchdown run of the day.
15 throws. Touchdown.
Joe Gosh will keep it himself.
Oh, extra gear. Brady. Touchdown.
You need to be the best version of yourself, play for your brothers, and play flying G football.
Because there is only one way to do this, boys, and that is the East Grand Rapids Pioneer way. Let's go.
Well, the images from this weekend will be added to the video you just watched. So many good memories going all the way back as you watch that, you guys. We still got plenty more to come. We have one more person to crown, one more team between Cass Tech and Hudsonville. It's been all Cass Tech in this game. We'll see if Hudsonville can come back. More from Ford Field next.
Cass Tech up 27-zip. Marvin Rushing keeping his team inspired at the half.
Close your eyes. Close your eyes. Just see yourself the next 24 minutes doing what you need for Cass Tech to win this game. See yourself sealing the deal. Whatever it takes, making a block, wrong arm. See yourself sacrificing a limb, if necessary, for Cass Tech to get this win. See yourself being disciplined. See yourself making plays. See yourself celebrate with your brothers.
Marvin Rushing has brought in his old teammates at Eastern Michigan, like Brandon Jackson, brought him in after the King loss to build confidence and build some additional respect, because he wanted his guys to understand what it takes to get to that next level, understand and appreciate what it's like to be teammates with state champions. It seems to be paying off.
Yeah, and you look at his shirt, it says, if you go fast, you go alone. If you go together, you will go far. And that is what he preaches. That's, we talked about the key to the game. The Rubik's Cube was RESPECT. Well, you obviously, coach gets it from his players, and they exude it on the field as well.
He's been inspirational, no doubt. His team has played inspired football in one half of football. There's one half left in the season. Can they finish the deal? They're up 27-0 on Hudsonville. Stick around for the second half after this. Halftime highlights are brought to you by Wallside Windows. Ribs, it's been all Cass Tech tonight.
Yeah, that's a good way to set me up there, Shep. It really has been on both sides of the football. Even the freshman quarterback starting to have a career day, but he's got a couple weapons outside in C.J. Sadler along with Alex Graham. These are playmakers, and they make plays. Sometimes you hear about playmakers, they leave you lurking, and they don't come through. But today they have, and Will Sykes says, you know what? I'm not too bad either. He's made a few catches and a few big plays himself, but it all starts and ends, though, up front. And you look at this graphic, rushing yards. 26 yards for a team that runs the ball extremely well. You know, Cass Tech doesn't have a ton of yards. I mean, you look at it with 159 yards, but they've had short fields after turnovers, and they've had quick drives. They've had big plays that enabled them to score quickly and get on the board. And another stat you look at here is turnovers, and Shep, once again, holding true. The stat that means nothing. Time of possession. Once again, the team getting slapped is the team with the time of possession. So Coach Sandy at Hudsonville's got to try to come up with some magic here to get things going, and that man right there, he's just got to go keep status quo.
All right, Cass Tech will start the third quarter with a football down to Natalie Kerwin.
Yeah, just spoke with Coach Sandy. He said, you know what, we got 2 more quarters. That first half wasn't pretty. We had 3 turnovers, a pre-snap penalty. We have to clean things up, play hard, and the guys know it, and they're going to try and do that here in this next half to try and close this game out.
All right, Natalie, thanks very much. This is where leadership comes into play, and Coach Sandy has a leadership council. They meet one time during the summer, every Monday during the season. They go out to breakfast. The kids pick up at the end of the season. They vote on captains, and then those captains and those leaders have to go through an interview process with Coach Sandy and other coaches, because he thinks that prepares them for later on in life going through interviews. They have to be able to be counted on. They have to understand that they have to be present and make this program better. And the leadership has been evident all season long, but they really need it and will be tested here tonight. Hudsonville will kick off for the first time tonight. C.J. Sadler and Alex Graham are deep. Ian Jenkins delivers a pooch kick. Fielded at the 32 and going backwards is Cassius Shivers. That's where his offense takes control.
With the kick return.
Back out comes the freshman, Donald Tabron. Strong first half, 12 of 15 for 147 yards and 3 touchdowns. 2 to C.J. Sadler and 1 to William Sykes.
At their own 29.
The lone running back is Damari Hendricks. And he gets the call. Bouncing to the outside with good speed. First down and more. And pushed out of bounds at the 46-yard line.
Hendricks. Chase down.
Well, Cass comes out there in a little punt and pull action. They're going to pull number 50, the left guard. That time, Shep Justin Wilson. He gets out in front. They use that H-back we talked about. This is a similar type of play that Hudsonville likes to run. But a good job. Instead of kicking that end out, as you keep kicking him out, you seal him, and then pops outside for a good gain.
Hendricks just 5'5", 156. Cass Tech calls him their baby Corum. Might be the hardest worker on this team and is an energy giver, not an energy taker. Always positive. Positive gain there. Now on the end around. Graham. Silky smooth. Down the sideline and gone.
Touchdown. Cass Tech. Alex Graham.
Well, you're going to see they're going to do a false pull, like they're going to run that, what we just saw. Pause it right here. Look at, they're pulling this way, and they bring the reverse back around the other way. So the linebackers see that guard pull out to the right. They start chasing, and then the reverse comes to the weak side, and you get number 7 the ball with any type of space. You see the natural fluidity, the speed that he has, and you have angles. Then there's no angles when Alex Graham has the ball. It's called chasing from behind after about 2 seconds, because he just pulls away.
They'll go for 2. Sadler in the corner, and that's interference intended for Alex Graham.
And let's not forget C.J. Sadler. People say, oh my gosh, he's a quarterback at heart. I mean, he would, if Coach Rushing did not have a capable quarterback with the freshman, Tabron, or Donald Tabron.
Number 22. Half the distance to the goal. On time down.
If he didn't have Donald Tabron, he would be the quarterback of this team.
Half the distance to the goal at the 1.5 for the 2-point conversion.
They lost that extra point the last time they muffed the kick, so trying to get that point back. Coach Rushing going for 2.
And they get it.
Yes, the 2-point.
Down to Natalie Kerwin with a special guest.
Carson Lovett.
All right, I found Donovan Peoples-Jones on the sideline here. Former Cass Tech alum, just got to witness a touchdown right here in front of us in the end zone, the 2-point conversion. I mean, how much enjoyment do you get just watching your old team?
It's a lot of enjoyment. You know, I was here not too long ago, so to be here, the season that they've had, to be around them, to encourage or inspire the guys in any type of way that I can, and to just support my, alumni high school is an amazing experience.
Have you been able to support them in any other games this year, kind of being their cheerleader on the sideline?
I haven't been able to get to any games, but I know a lot of the guys, they help with my camp in the off season. They even came to a practice earlier this year, so it's been very collaborative with the team and with the guys. It's been a lot of love, so we kind of just, all together.
Being a hometown guy, too, being on the hometown NFL team, the Detroit Lions, how was that experience? You just get the Thanksgiving win. I mean, has it just been a full circle moment for you?
Yeah, it's a great experience. From, playing here, I think the first time I played here was in Little League, where we played in, like, halftime. And we were like the little 7-year-old, guys running around. And then to play here in high school, to play here, we practiced here in college. Played here when I was once with the Browns, and to now be here is, God is great. I'm definitely thankful for the experience. So it's amazing.
A lot of good memories on this field for you.
A lot of great memories.
We're going to have another one here today, witnessing your school possibly winning here as we head into this third quarter. Thank you, DPJ.
For sure.
Shep, Rubes.
Thanks, Natalie.
Nice job, Natalie. Good questions. I love the full circle one.
And
coming home again. They say you can't go home.
Yeah.
You know what? He proved it wrong. You can.
You root for guys like Donovan Peoples-Jones, standout player at Michigan. He's had a nice NFL career. Good for him.
And what a nice luxury of the Lions to have him. He's been kind of active, inactive, but have that type of depth with his experience that you can pull off the practice squad or off the inactive roster.
And the beauty is, a guy like that is always ready. We mentioned Allen Robinson yesterday when we were talking about St. Mary's. Well, Donovan Peoples-Jones was on a state championship team, too.
Oh, here's a look. That's just getting the ball in the flat. And I like the grays. Haven't seen the grays in a while. Coming across, once again,
They know how to celebrate, that's for sure. So 1st and 10 for Hudsonville. You would think they'd have to put it up in the air. Instead, they go on the ground with Owen Harzma. And you probably, if you've watched our coverage all weekend long, you understand the running clock rules, but we'll tell you about it again, because if a team is up in the second half by 35 points or more, the clock continues to run, except for penalty, timeout, injury, or following a score.
Shep, the fact that you can almost do that verbatim without looking at the screen now shows you we've had too many lopsided games here this weekend.
Agreed. 2nd and 6. Oh, and there you go. That's what you needed to gain a first down, and we've got a flag on the play. Aaron Hunt, the offensive lineman, was on that little toss back on a hook and ladder.
Yeah, I think Coach Sandy's been watching a little bit of the Lions here. That's a Panay Sewell coming. It's just a little hook and lateral. Nice job, and they give it to the big man rolling down the sidelines.
First down.
So some creativity. I appreciate it. This is a 35-0 game. Coach coming out, pulling out all the stops, and it was really well executed. That's got to be timed up, especially when you're doing it with an offensive tackle. So there's a few minutes in practice spent on that play.
Panay Sewell would love to be able to do something like Aaron Hunt just did, although they have worked him into the offense pretty well this year.
Timeout.
Interesting time for a timeout after the hook and lateral to get Hudsonville in pretty good shape. They'll take over 1st and 10 at the 23 when we come back.
Well, we just interviewed one of the big-time Cass Tech alums, Donovan Peoples-Jones, but there's a few others that weren't athletes. Jack White, Lily Tomlin, Diana Ross, and Big Sean. Those are some big names. You thought the NFL players were big-time. How about that? A couple musicians? Gotta love to see it.
You know what, Natalie? I never knew Lily Tomlin was a Cass Tech grad until you just brought that up. I had no idea. And there's Donovan Peoples-Jones, who joined Natalie moments ago. That's fascinating.
Chef, I can't believe he borrowed your coat.
We're the same size, so why not? All right, 1st and 10, and Hudsonville jumps.
Well, you think Coach Rushing decided, all right, You know, they're starting to move the ball on us a little bit. Let's take a timeout, get our guys refocused. Don't give them any life. You don't want to give them any.
Dead ball. False start. Offense. 5 yards. First down.
You know, any thoughts of making a comeback here?
Following the penalty, it's first and 10.
Coach Rushing. As Shepard said many times, haven't you, Matt? They're just one of the best. We talk to coaches every year, and one of the best ones to talk to. He really is. He's very amicable, very forthcoming, honest, and very proud of his program.
Harzma with a cutback and then tripped up inside the 25-yard line. Yet remember, Marvin Rushing went to Eastern Michigan as a quarterback. Charlie Batch was in his way, and it really forced him to study and learn what it's like to be a really good teammate and understand the mental state of the game a little bit. And he learned an awful lot being in that position.
Like that versatility, quarterback to linebacker. You look at Coach right now, you can see that the linebacker fit him well. So it's once again, he's learned that as a player.
There's a throwback to Griffin Baker. And Griffin Baker is held shy of the goal line. Some creativity on the part of Hudsonville. That's a pickup at 22.
Well, this is kind of like the Philly special. The throwback to the quarterback. They find Griffin Baker in the flat, and if not for a good job coming up, making a stop by C.J. Sadler, it was going to be a touchdown. Let's see if Hudsonville, the Eagles, can bow up a little bit and get this into the end zone.
Baker on the quarterback sneak, but a whistle blows.
We're going to have offsides defense. Or I'm sorry, encroachment.
Encroachment. Defense.
Thanks for clarifying.
Yeah.
Half the distance. Still first down.
Well, that's about an inch or inch and a half penalty.
Right.
I do that every time, make them keep calling, and maybe you can sneak in or get some easy penetration, get into the backfield. That's got to be the least value for a penalty, isn't it? When you get inside the 1 yard line, you're gonna. It could be a 15-yarder. It doesn't matter. Corey Sadler. We got to get a replay here because number one, Corey Sadler. I think he almost took the hand up from the center, the snap. We're going to look. We're going to pause it. Now watch. Let it go just a little bit. Let it go. Wait. Let it go. Look at this. Look at right here in the middle. C.J. Sadler, look, he got the handoff from the center. Now, someone needs to say, your team is good enough, C.J. You don't need to be doing this.
There's the touchdown plunge. Griffin Baker gets Hudsonville on the board.
Well, it took about 2.5 quarters, Shep, but Hudsonville finally cracks the armor and is able to get the ball into the end zone, make it a 35-6 game. And Marvin Rushing, I think you're going to see this team, he's going to talk to him a little bit. He doesn't want to give him a chance. You don't want to give them an opportunity. I think they have the ability to come back against you. And right now, Hudsonville's feeling a little bit good about themselves.
Ian Jenkins for the extra point, and it is good. A couple of big plays, a couple of trick plays instituted by Hudsonville, helped out by a 15-yard penalty, but they finally break through with 7:44 left to go in the third. First state finals appearance for Hudsonville since 2005. They've been here before. They lose to Harrison in 1998 and then faced Brother Rice twice in 5 years. 2000, end up falling short, and then 2005 to the same Brother Rice program.
You know, that surprised me, man. I thought they would have been here more recently than 2005. I mean, they've always a strong program on the west side. The problem is trying to get out of that OK Red over there with Rockford, and then Granville's had some runs, and then I'm trying to think who else. Caledonia more recently. So it's a tough conference.
East Kentwood's in that too.
Yeah, Jennison's made a run here once, so it's it's one of the elite conferences. I think you have the Macomb Red, you have the OK Red, or the help me out, OAA Red, And so you get the Catholic League. I mean, you got a pretty powerful conference there. They're usually sending 1 or 2 teams here each year. So they just can't seem to get to the finish line. They always the bridesmaid, never the bride.
Squib kick, onside kick, and it's recovered by Hudsonville.
Well, it looks like Cass Tech is just in their normal kickoff return, not with a hands team in, where you put up about 8 or 10 guys in the front 5 yards to deal with the onside kick. No, this was hit early by a Cass player before 10 yards, which means it's eligible to be recovered by Hudsonville.
And Carson Dykstra was there to recover it for Hudsonville. At midfield. So 2 trick plays on their last possession, then the onside kick, and things are starting to click a little bit for Hudsonville. Can they get the ground attack going? That's a good gain from Bryce Fox, past the 45 to the 44.
It's amazing what a little bit of confidence can do.
Yeah.
You're able to get the ball into the end zone, even though albeit you had to do with some trick plays, Shep. And then you get the onside kick, and now you have one of your nicer runs of the day when you're running within your game plan of 6 yards.
Fox again, a cutback takes him to the 41.
Fox is met by Graham.
You're going to replay in Hudsonville right here. You're going to see coming up to defend. Alex Graham has shown that he is an athlete with the ball in his hands. He's an athlete when defending the pass. But he's not afraid to mix it up inside. Not all your, diva defensive backs want to come downhill. Alex Graham has no problem playing downhill as well.
Baker wants to throw, intercepted. Picked off for the second time today by Cass Tech. This is Derek Jackson III. Sixth interception of the year for the senior safety. That leads the team, and a big change in momentum for Cass Tech.
Well, this will squell probably most of the hopes that the Eagles had just mounted about coming back. Jackson just undercuts it. He reads it, flying to the ball. And if he doesn't get it, it looks like Alex Graham behind him might get it. Now there's going to be a
10 yards from the spot. First down.
A little penalty on the return. It's going to march Cass Tech back a little bit. And so a little bit more urgency in that last defensive play, didn't you? They gave up a 6-yard run. They just kind of started to squeeze down a little bit, and that secondary stepped up. That's what makes it tough. If they can get up on you and they force you into a passing game, wow. Good luck. We saw some good passing teams. We saw Pontiac, Notre Dame Prep today. We saw Lansing Catholic last night. But think about them trying to throw on this team with the secondary that they have. It changes everything.
When you and I watch these games and you see how good Cass Tech is, you think to yourself,
how did they
lose 2 games, right? Same thing with Orchard Lake St. Mary's. How did they lose 3 times? Jackson Lumen Christie, how did somebody beat them, right? Tabron, and that's incomplete. And if you think about it, Marvin Rushing actually said, I don't think we would be here had we not lost those 2 games. He thought it was really important for his team, not that they tried to, obviously, but really important that his team was able to grow from those 2 losses and turn into the team we see today.
Oh, they definitely improved. Now, that time, Tabron a little bit of pressure. He dumps the ball to Carson Love, and Carson can't hang on. That's a catchable ball. Puts you into a 2nd down and 10. That's kind of good news, bad news. If you're the Eagles, it's of Hudsonville, you put them in the 2nd and 10. The bad news is they're probably going to throw again.
Tabron's been really good today. The freshman playing more like a senior, slings it out, and it's caught by C.J. Sadler. High points it for 9 yards, close to another first down.
Shep, I'm going to ask your opinion on something. You look at C.J. Sadler, number 1, a very good 2-way player. Where do you think his future lies at the collegiate level? Obviously, he's going to be a Power 5. Is he going to be a DB, you think, or is he going to be a wide receiver or a slot?
5'10", 175. Yeah, that's a really good question. I would think
because
he's more
as
of
a
a
DB,
corner.
He doesn't have the typical 5'11", 6-foot body you would like.
He's got great speed.
But he has
and
great speed,
instincts.
yes.
And it sure does help that you play wide receiver. Really, that instincts those instincts really come through. Fumble. And Hudsonville says they've got it. And they do. That's Ryan Ackerman at the bottom of the pile.
Well, this Eagle fan base has had more to cheer about in the past 3 to 4 minutes than they did in the first hour and a half. Here they recovered. They got a touchdown on a. They set themselves up for touchdown rather on the Philly throwback, and right here we're going to look. It's just right up the middle, and a good job getting a hand on it. And I think it was number 43, Tyler Strick, who gets the hand on it. And then you get a number of the recovery, Chef. Did you?
First and 10.
Yeah, we thought it was Ackerman.
Yeah.
But either way, Hudsonville will take care of it.
Now, this is their run set. Last time they were spread a little bit when they tried to throw.
And that's a keeper on the part of Braylon or Braden Van Lake.
You just wonder if these turn of events that we've seen over the last 5 minutes, so if this would have happened in say in the first quarter, before they got down so much, how the complexity, or I should say the outcome of this game would have been changed or different than we're seeing right now.
It's interesting, Braden Van Lake, also a wide receiver, but the backup quarterback, played quarterback last year for a little bit. He's now in. He gives Fox with a cutback. Nice run past the 35. Still on his feet to the 32-yard line. That's a strong run by Bryce Fox, perhaps his best of the night.
But I like that you're seeing some urgency in this offense. You're still down 4 possessions. So you got to move as quickly as you can. The clock is definitely in Cass Tech's favor. So offensively, you cannot waste time.
Van Lake out of the gun. On the end around, breaking a tackle, down the sideline, tough run. Good stuff from Owen Harzma, and suddenly Hudsonville has some offense, finding a rhythm.
Yeah, we're going to look. They're going to see, once again, false keying. You see Hudsonville do this. They're going to pull a couple of their players to the weak side, let it go. They get out, and they show like they're going right, and actually the motion to the back is to the left. He gets it, he gets up the field. Very deceptive.
Fox again, slicing his way, bowling his way. Touchdown! Bryce Fox!
Well, we're going to see this, fella. We're going to pause right at the beginning. You're going to see like a GG. Both guards are going to pull. Just going to get it, tuck it up inside, and let it go. And Bryce Fox follows the big fella. Number 56, Mason Cholik, really gets a nice block at the point of attack to spring in. You see 77, Aaron Hunt also getting in there.
2-point conversion. Not going to happen. Gavin Fernandez made sure of that.
Well, you see him coming up and just being led through the hole. Nice kick out at the point. Aaron Roberts, Cooper Roberts, doing a nice job. Number 70. They go for 2. Interesting. That makes it if they make it, it's still 20, which is a 3-possession game, 3-touchdown game. I think that's the truth. I just kick it, take the point, and I guess if you think you still need 3 more scores, if you're trying to steal points, if you get 2 every time, you steal 3 points. That's why I would never, as a coach, have that little chart that tells you what to do.
Yeah.
I would never have that, because I don't care what the little chart says. I know my team, I know what I do, and I know if I kick that extra point, I will take a point that I'm 95% sure I'm going to get. Well, not only 2-point that at this level, maybe you're 40% sure.
I'm with you on that. The analytics in all sports creeps in and might sometimes make coaches overthink certain situations. Don't know. Either way, his team's back on the board, and Brent Sandy's team is now within 22 with 5:07 to go in the third. They were shut out 27-zip at the half and down 35 points before responding with a couple of touchdowns. This last one off a fumble recovery. There's another onside kick. This one is fielded at the 48-yard line of Cass Tech cleanly.
Join us tomorrow for Matinee Hockey, Shep, here in downtown Detroit. Red Wings host the Vancouver Canucks, a team that you have high hopes for at Little Caesars Arena. 12:30 p.m., Red Wings Live with John Keating and Chris Osgood begins our coverage. And then Ken and Mickey have the call just after 12:30. The Red Wings and the Canucks tomorrow. LCA, be there, Shep, or if not,
who's your favorite
watch
Red
on
Wing?
TV.
Who's your favorite Red Wing?
Oh, all the way. Dylan Larkin.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, I'm a front runner.
I was just, you know, I saw some pictures
this year, listen,
Lucas Raymond and Patrick
I think
Kane
Simon Edmondson's really been a difference maker,
Simon
too.
Edmondson, yep. Big, tall defenseman. They need him. Cass Tech with the ball again, and Hudsonville is re-energized defensively. They sniffed it out, and a tackle for loss on the carry from Damari Hendricks.
Well, Tyler Strick, we've been number 43. We've been calling his name a lot lately. Didn't call him a lot early in the game, but he has been a factor, not listed as a starter, so he's been implemented either via injury or lack of play by, I'm not sure what number he's replacing, but he is getting some penetration, and he's being a difference for this Eagle defense.
Just 4 tackles on the season coming in, but already a couple here in the state championship game. That one, a loss of 5. Tabron wants to throw. Clean pocket, launches downfield, big arm, and off the fingertips of C.J. Sadler.
Well, I think that's a situation in hindsight with C.J. kind of grabbing the hammy a little bit. Sometimes you try to go to that 5th gear. He almost does the one hand. I think back in the day, I would have laid out for that with 2 hands on it. But now with the gloves they have, it's a lot easier to get the one-hand catches because they're the sticky. And he was hoping that one did stick, and if it would have, he would have been on some highlight reels for this weekend coming up.
Cass Tech 2 for 6 on 3rd downs so far in this state title game.
Well, it's still 4 minutes in the 3rd quarter, so if you can get the ball back and somehow get another touchdown. Hey, this little motion defense they've been running.
Tabron's in trouble, throws out of it, and it is caught on a diving grab at the 46-yard line, hauled in by William Sykes.
Now, Sykes is still going to be about 5 yards short, long 4. It'll be 4th down, but once again, Donald Tabron, the freshman, showing some really fancy footwork. So calm, so cool in the pocket. When he's pressured, there's no panic in this young quarterback. Let's keep an eye on his feet here, able to undercut the defender. That's something you just have a feel for as a quarterback. You see some quarterbacks spin into pressure. That time he goes underneath pressure, is able to locate Sykes. And Marvin Rushing decides, you know what? We don't think they're going to go the whole field on us. This offense still isn't clicking like they think it is. So let's punt them deep. And if you're Eagles right here, you're playing fake. You're saying, okay, you're showing us punt. We're ready. We're going to play defense.
A flag from the back judge.
Delay a game. Offense. 5 yards. 4th down.
I think if Cass had a fake punt called there, you got to kill it. You got to knock it off and just punt the ball now and cover.
George Sanchez Murillo will punt it away, and Braylon Miller waits for it just inside his own 20. On Hudsonville with encroachment. Man.
Dead ball. Encroachment. Defense. 5 yards. Repeat, 4th down.
4th down and 4 from the 45.
They're coming after it. Miller with a fair catch at about the 17-yard line. Long way to go for Hudsonville, but they've got some life here late in the 3rd. See if they stick with their backup quarterback, Braden Van Lake, or if they go back to their starter, Griffin Baker, who rushed it in from a yard out on the first touchdown. Van Lake engineered the last drive. Four plays for 47 yards. They've gone back to Griffin Baker on this possession.
Now let's see what Marvin Rushing, also defense, how he's going to counter here. He's doing a little pep talk with his fellas saying, "Fella, I told you there's 24 minutes and a half.
Yeah.
You gave me about 2 or 3 or 4 early on, but this team is going to play for all 24, so let's get at it."
Baker handles the low snap and the handoff. Owen Harzma. Just a couple of yards on that carry. C.J. Sadler's back in there. Looked like he was limping a little bit on that last offensive possession on a route downfield, but now he's back out there at his cornerback spot.
You know, we've talked a bit about John Baker IV and Brian Stovall on the ends, but Gavin Fernandez, 6 foot 255, a junior, number 13 in white. He's really played a nice game. Very athletic, short stature for someone in that position, but very active.
Braden Van Lake in here. He's got it. Good run past the 25. Brings up 3rd down and manageable.
Well, this is interesting. Now, it says 4th down, but I think it's just 3rd, isn't it, Shep?
Yeah, I thought it was 3rd down and 3.
This box says 4. They're changing it to 3. Now, you got to think ahead. If you're Coach Sandy, if you come up yards short here, do you go all in, Texas Hold'em?
You're down 3 scores. I would think so. Fakes the toss sweep, cuts it back up, moves the pile a little bit.
He's going to be really close.
Really close, yep.
Close enough that I think you're going to, if you are short, he's going to be short. He's going to be about a foot short, and they're going to go for it. Clock continues to run under 140 here, Shep. As you can see on the screen here, you just wonder how long before you really go into a hurry up.
This is where, as a quarterback, you get into the huddle and you look at your offensive lineman and say, this is what you live for. Just give me a yard, will you? It should be enough. Cass Tech doesn't think so.
Griffin Baker on the key. 1st down, Hudsonville.
Yeah, how they get us to the hash mark. Now, they didn't, you know, hey, how about hats off that defense of Cass Tech, though? They needed 6 inches, and Eagles got about 10. So it was tough going in there. Great push by both lines, and Eagles just got a little bit more, were able to move the chains. But once again, that clock continues to tick under a minute now in the 3rd quarter, Shep. So you got to go into some kind of hurry up, and you just can't do this 3-4 yards running down the field.
Baker comes back out. Braden Van Lake is back in. He gives it to Harzma. He cuts it back to the 34. Cass Tech will be glad to give you this type of drive if they're going to give it to you at all.
You're kind of playing in their hand. You're Pac-Man the clock yourself as you see it winding down. I mean, you got to hurry. You should be able to get at least 2 more plays off here in the 3rd quarter with 33 seconds and counting down. But
Mason Cholik, the right guard, was injured on that play, came limping off. Aaron Parker is his backup at the right guard spot. Van Lake on a 2nd down and 4. He'll keep it. And spun around at the 36. Key 3rd down for them when we come back and we start the 4th. It's been all Cass Tech. They're up 35-13. Hudsonville showed some life here in the 3rd after going down 35-0. They've got a long way to come back, but they've got the ball when we return to Ford Field for the final quarter of the Division I state championship game after this.
This special presentation of the MHSAA Football Finals is brought to you by Trinity Health. We see all of you. And by the Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. Think Ford first. Well, I want to give you guys a little history lesson on the city of Hudsonville. You might think of ice cream, but there's something else I need you to see. Yes, that is lettuce. Hudsonville was a very rural city for several years. The Germans, they originally settled there, but then the Dutch came in and figured out how to funnel the water out of swampland so it could be farmable. That is why there is a huge Dutch population in Hudsonville. They grow a lot of vegetables there. Well, there's so much of a farming town, they are nicknamed Salad Bowl City. City, they actually set a Guinness World Record back in 2013 for building the world's longest salad bar with over 2,400 pounds of vegetables. It ended up being 680 feet long, which if we know you, Rob Rubik, you wouldn't go within 1 foot of that.
I wouldn't know what to do with it?
Yeah, you're talking to two people who don't know what lettuce is.
You know what lettuce is? That's what you give your pet rabbit. I like the steak advertising earlier we had from Frankie Move, that steak thing. That was way better.
Actually, lettuce on a burger isn't bad, is it? You and I have had that before.
We could do lettuce on a burger.
Okay,
Come on
thank
now.
you. Yeah,
I watch my weight. I take it off.
You got to get your greens in somehow. If that's how we're going to do it, then we can settle for that.
That's a good sneaky play right there. Owen Harzma with a nice gain to move the chains again.
Yeah, and the first defender in for Cass Tech is trying to pull the ball out. And you need to understand, when you're the first guy to the party, your job is to get him wrapped up and start taking him down. The second and third guy come in, they can pull the ball out. By doing so, it allowed Harzma to pick up about 5-6 more yards.
Griffin Baker back in at quarterback for Hudsonville. He'll keep it, feel his way to the 50-yard line, and that's it. Bottom of the pile is number 20, Marvin McCallum.
Stopped by McCallum.
Well, they're just running quarterback power, call it GH, whatever you're going to see. They're going to pull here up and kick out, and then the H-back's going to come through, and the quarterback's going to get it and follow both. You see going up through the hole. The H-back's going to lead through. Kick out by 56, Mason Cholik. So nice job, and they're getting 4 yards.
Harzman in motion. He takes the handoff. Cuts it back up the middle. He could be gone. Outside the numbers and tracked down from behind by one of the fastest players in the state, Alex Graham.
Wow. I'm telling you, Owen Harzma, he looks fast. They run a jet, and he just cuts it back up, and he takes off. And just how fast is Alex Graham? Well, you just saw it.
Yeah.
Shep, that's
he made up a lot
they
of
were
ground.
chasing you.
Yeah.
They were chasing a fast player.
Baker lunges to the 6. I mean, Graham was flat-footed when Harzma blew by him, turned and sprinted and still caught him.
Yep. You know, we talked that one stat we said is overblown. The time of possession is what you do with it. But the only time it can come into play is later in the game when your defense, and Cass Tech's defense has been out there quite a bit. And, you know, maybe they're wearing down a little bit. Got some two-way players. And because Hudsonville's offense looks a heck of a lot better here since halfway through the third quarter.
Braden Van Lake with the give. Bryce Fox is going nowhere on that carry.
Oh, John Baker, the fourth. Nice job. Big John coming in there. One-on-one tackle. Russ him to the ground.
Logan Howell helped him out. Howell had a fumble recovery earlier in the game.
I bet you Owen Harzma he's probably thinking, I'm scoring. Yeah, he didn't expect anyone to catch him from behind.
No. Harzma tried to cut it back. Similar play to the big gainer. Instead, this one gets back to the 6-yard line. Same two guys tag teaming on the tackle there. Marcus Jennings and Marvin McCallum.
I thought that would have been a good time for that flood pass we saw early on in the game where they leaked the H-back when he's been kicking out and running through the hole. Have him just fake chip the end, get into the flat. And let's keep an eye on it here.
See if they roll Griffin
Baker. He's lined up here. Let's see if maybe they look to leak him into the flat to the other side, motion him. Because you can run, you can see the DBs here. You got two receivers to the play side. I'm going to show you. You can run them off. You could run these guys off and clear it out.
Timeout. Hudsonville. That's your first time out of the half.
This is a huge play for Brent Sandy and his offense. It is staring at a 4th down and about 4 to go. And they're down 35-13 in this biggest game of their season. Huge play, 4th down and 4 for Hudsonville. They have a 60% success rate on 4th down coming into the game today. They're 1 for 2 tonight on 4th downs. They need 4 to earn the first down. Their only 4th down conversion was 4th and 1 earlier today. So here we go. Griffin Baker will throw, and it's knocked down. His arm was hit while in motion, and Cass Tech is going to take over.
Wow, how disheartening. If you're the Eagles from Hudsonville, you have some good plays. Your running back gets free. He gets walked down, and that's why you never give up on a play defensively. Here's a look at the replay here, and just pressure coming from the weak side. Nice job by Marcus Jennings, the linebacker, coming from the weak side blitz, untouched, a release. Actually, does not untouched. Aaron Hunt tries to pick him up, but he's able to take the short edge on him, get pressure, deflect the ball, and
boy,
that with 8:41 remaining.
And listen, he had Will DeYoung open. His backup tight end was wide open in the end zone. Heck of a play. You're right. Heck of a play by Marcus Jennings to spoil that. 13 plays, 75 yards in over 6.5 minutes, but all for naught. Giving it back to Cass Tech with 8:40 remaining here in the fourth. The ground attack for the technicians. It's Jalen Spates who scored the first touchdown of the night.
And I think Marvin Rushing, the head coach, is going to flex a little bit here now. We've seen him be finesse, execute the passing game, but he understands, he's been around football long enough, that it's time now to Pac-Man the clock. We said that stat doesn't matter. Well, it does matter, I guess, at the end of the game when you're trying to manipulate it and chew it up, as you're going to see this offense try to do.
Donald Tabron, the third out of the shotgun. Spates again up the middle to the 16-yard line. Needed to get another yard or so to move the chains. They'll try it on third down as the 3rd and 1.
A gain of 1. It's 3rd down and 1.
This is where they rely on that big offensive line that averages 6'3", 280 pounds.
Now, Donald Tabron, we're looking at this young quarterback. You know, he comes by it honestly. His father was a collegiate player in the late 90s at Northwood Institute. Back then they were called, I believe, the Northmen. Now they're the Timberwolves, so he's got football in his veins.
Rolling, pressure comes, he unloads. It's caught in a first down catch. Wow. Brian Stovall with a heck of a grab, but an even better play by the young freshman quarterback.
Shep, you called it. He's played well, this freshman quarterback, but this is the most elite play he's made the entire day. He's got pressure in his face, no panic. This is a 13, 14-year-old young man with pressure right in his face, bearing down him, and he's able to get the ball off and get it so it's catchable. You know, he does a good job and finds in the flat, number 16, doing a good job, as you said, Shep. That's Brian Stovall. Plays both ways at defense as well.
Then up the gut, that's Spates. Or Cass Tech with Spates as a ball carrier, Julian Taylor as a ball carrier, Damari Hendricks and Carson Lovett. They've got a lot of riches in their war chest.
Man, that's a lot of mouths you're trying to feed there. A lot of people that want to carry the football. And Coach Rushing, you know, you want to keep them in your program. And we know how fickle our society in the game of football is at not just at the collegiate level, the NFL, at the high school level even. There's a lot of schools of choice. So you got 4 talented young men that you're trying to get reps and keep them in your program.
Well, if they're smart, they're going to want to play for this guy. Let's see the coach. Spates, big run to midfield.
Spates tracked down by Austin. First down.
Nice job of the offensive line here. You're going to see him come out here and pull big number 50, 55. That's, you got Wilson pulling with Khalif Canty, creating a nice hole, and Spates does the rest. He's the beneficiary of that big gaping hole and getting north and south. And I think the Hudsonville Eagles comeback, when they didn't convert on that touchdown on that 4th down deep, Shep, really was their last gasp. And now it's just Cass Tech trying to chew up the rest of this game clock.
Spates with a pickup of 19. Tough sledding left side for Carson Levitt. You know, we've talked about Donald Tabron, and for good reason. The young freshman quarterback for Cass Tech, he is really more mature than his freshman status would indicate. Here's a guy who trains at 6 a.m. every single day to keep his mind and his body sharp. And he and this offense have been sharp all night long, marching toward another state championship, leading 35-13 with a little bit more than 5 minutes to go. Menards brings you the big money moment. Cass Tech was up in this game early on, and they really couldn't have done it without that C.J. Sadler incredible grab in the corner of the end zone. One of 2 touchdown catches from Sadler. That made it 21-0. And really after that, it was Cass Tech on cruise control. What a day it's been for C.J. Sadler on the receiving end here tonight. 6 catches, 47 yards, and a couple of TDs. Been a big reason and given so much confidence to his quarterback, Donald Tabron. 15 of 20 for 176 yards and 3 scores. I love the message that these coaches preach. Marvin Rushing, we've talked a lot about. But, you know, Brent Sandy has done the same thing at Hudsonville. He got a text from a player's mom earlier this year telling him how much she appreciated him working with her child. And his response was, "I've grown more from your son than your son has grown from me." This team has made him have great hope for future generations because of the class, the dignity, and the way they go about their business. Big run here by Jalen Spates. He's been pretty dynamic tonight. And Cass Tech gets it to within the 25.
This offensive line is just really shredding that defense in front of Hudsonville. They're doing that double pull as we've seen the entire night, pulling the 2 big fellas from the weak side. A little counter trade, we used to call that back in the day, Shep. Remember the Washington Redskins with the Hogs?
Yeah.
They were really the first one to run it, where you bring the backside guard and tackle. Jacoby, Grimm, if you remember those big fellas, yeah, and they would just get in front of Riggo, John Riggins, and they just kind of road grate their way down the field.
Spades again. Ever tell you I played golf with some of those Hogs?
No.
Yeah, when I was out in Washington on a road trip. Yeah, I ran into playing golf
with Russ Grimm?
No, just a couple of the other guys, including Mark Rippett, who was out there too. And it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun, a lot of storytelling.
Which golf game did you have that day? The I Hate Life, Shep, or the not bad, Shep?
Listen, I always love life when I'm on the golf course. Always.
You could.
Doesn't mean I love the game, but I love life.
Well, you don't have to make your living at it, so if you did, you'd be a lot thinner than you are.
They were fantastic to me. I mean, I just truly enjoyed playing with them, and then they invited me to a few other events, and we had a great time. Nice bounce out by Hendricks. Up the gut. Touchdown for Baby Corum.
Touchdown, Cass Tech. Damari Hendricks from 24 yards.
Well, you're going to see right here, they're going to pull the 2 big fellas from the weak side counter trade. Now, the little thing different is, and he's going to bounce it outside and then let it go right here. They're going to turn up through, since he buries the tackle trying to pull. Paramore gets pulled. The running back in his Hendricks just bops it outside, and then 5'5", those legs are moving quick to cover any territory. That inseam, you can measure the ruler. He's not tall, but I tell you what.
But he is tough.
Hey, when he flies an airplane, every seat's good.
Yeah, he plays with a huge heart, and he had a huge run.
Look at that.
There to make it a 42-13 lead. 9 plays, 93 yards in just under 5 minutes. That is what championship teams do.
And, you know, I talk about Damari Hendricks. I'm kind of kidding him a little bit. But when you watch this play at real speed, his quickness is second to none. You watch this. Now, the big fella gets buried. He bounces it to the edge. And look at that. He is just, there's a seam, and he doesn't allow anyone to close the gap on him. They bury at the point of attack, so it almost works like a pin and pull. He gets to the edge. And he is in the end zone before you know it. So tremendous quickness and speed. And right there, a 42-13 lead. They're going to be celebrating in the. It's Cass Tech, Shep. You know if it's on Cass Street? I think it is. I've been there. Like I said, I should know that. I'll probably have Brian Henry, our producer. He knows everything. Since he does live in the city, because he makes a lot more money than we do to be able to live down here now. But hey, what a job by Cass Tech. Answered the bell. Got a little bit of a threat by the Eagles of Hudsonville in the third quarter rather than the fourth quarter. But they kind of said, all right, enough is enough. We're going to make some plays. We're going to continue to play hard, and they're going to come away with another state championship.
Really impressive showing on the part of Cass Tech. Offensively, defensively, special teams for the most part. No question. Best team in Division I this year.
And I think what I've seen here, we've watched a lot of teams. I think overall, the best team in the state. Now, we saw the Ducks of Zeeland West give fits to Martin Luther King just because of the type of offense they ran. But
ball's returned out to the 22. Now a message from your Southeast Michigan Ford dealers.
Now, during Black Friday, AZ Plan trade-in lessees can lease a 2024 Escape for $279 a month for 24 months. Only at your Southeast Michigan Ford dealer today.
Ball places at 28-yard line for the Eagles. First and 10.
Hudsonville's offense heads back out onto the field.
You know, Shep, we've alluded to the fact that these games have not been as competitive as you and I would like, and I'm sure anyone who's come down in the team, obviously on the losing end, but it's still a great weekend each and every year, isn't it? Coming to watch high school football in the state of Michigan, and it gets nothing else. I get a chance to work with my partner many years from Eastern Michigan and many years doing the high school football finals here, so it's always a pleasure.
And as you brought up earlier, the chance to chat with a lot of the coaches is a lot of fun.
Best. It is the best. Yep. And they're all different. You know, some are so honest.
Substitution infraction. Defense. 5 yards. Still first down.
Some are so honest they crack you up with what they tell you, and other ones are very guarded. But the thing they all have in common is the love of their team and the pride they have in their players to get this far, because they all been coaching a while. They understand how difficult it is to get to here.
Wide open. Van Lake tosses one out there, and it's incomplete. He had a man streaking wide open. It was Carson Dykstra. That would have been 6 had it been on the money. Instead, just a little long.
Now we got some new people in the secondary, and they bite up. That was Derek Lamb, number 33. He bites up on the run fake. Emery Jones, a third, another defensive back, 24. You see him trying to get back, and it's funny. Trailing the play was Cassius Shivers, and he's like holding his hands like, fellas. He's got his hands out. Fellas, what are you doing? You got to, any coach will tell you tell your DBs on the snap of that ball.
That's your first time out of the half.
On the snap of that ball, the first step has to be backwards. This year, the MHSAA is celebrating a century of sports. Be part of the festivities by visiting MHSAA.com, where you'll see exclusive content about the people, places, rivalries, and records that makes high school athletics in Michigan so memorable. It's a century of the MHSAA, and it's all on MHSAA.com.
You know, Rubes, we were talking about what we enjoy most about this weekend. Sure, it's talking to the coaches and seeing the joy on players' faces and talking about the accomplishments in the communities. The other thing we love probably as much as anything else is working with the great people, part of our network. We are so lucky to work with so many talented people. They are not just co-workers, they are friends, whether they're on the field as a grip or a cameraman or a red hat, or
stage manager,
all the great people in the truck, and then people in our booth. We can't thank them enough for helping us get ready for these games as well, because it really is a labor of love. All right, here's Hudsonville going to work again. They want to air it out again, and downfield and incomplete. And perhaps some people on Hudsonville's fan base might be asking, where are these shots downfield earlier? And a lot of it has to do with the fact that you said you got backup corners and backup secondary players.
You got a bunch of young fellas in there, some juniors and sophomores for Cass Tech in the secondary. So your chance of getting a completion is a lot better. With number 7 and 1 in the green and white are on the sidelines, when Graham and Sadler aren't in there, you got a lot more space to throw the football.
Good shot of LaMarcus Army there. He's just a freshman. How much does this help him moving forward in his high school career? Baker wants to throw again. Deep ball and incomplete. Dykstra had broken free. We got a flag on the play.
Holding. On the defense, number 14. 10-yard penalty. Yardage results in a first down.
That was against the aforementioned LaMarcus Army.
Marcus kind of laughing it off. Let's see if we get some more numbers out there, Shep, in that secondary. You see number 35 in the game right now. Elijah Wilcox is in there, kind of the linebacker position. We talked about 33 for Cass. Darrell Lamb.
Baker flushed from the pocket. Flag on the play usually indicates holding. Baker breaks free to the 50 and then down to the 48-yard line. Let's see if this comes back.
Baker dragged down by Cyphers. There is a penalty marker.
And that is holding against Hudsonville.
Yeah, when quarterbacks start scrambling and they break the rhythm of the play, and maybe they start trying to get wide out of the pocket, and you just...
Offense, number 68. 10 yards from the previous spot. Still first down.
You just, as a lineman, sometimes you're in good position, but then when the defensive person sees where they're going, the quarterback, and you don't see him because he's behind you, and they start to extend from you, you get caught grabbing a lot of times, and that's where many of the holding penalties come from.
4 wide receivers set for Griffin Baker. Looking left, slinging it out. It is caught by Carson Dykstra. They're best friends. Played basketball and football while they were kids and all the way through high school as well.
If we get a look here, this can be what we call the wheel stop. They're going to go here, and this Dykstra's going to come here, but instead of doing the wheel, he's just going to hook up on it, so let it go. So it looks like he was going to go down the field. We got caught with the real play, and we'll come back, take a look at it. But it's a really well-designed play because everyone likes to run the wheel. Where you take the slot receiver, and he's going to go out down the sidelines. He starts running, you think, oh, he's going to go by him, then he just hooks up. So it's a complementary play to running the wheel. Once, if you like that combination, you do the wheel quite a bit, and every now and then you get that DB starting to bail quick when he sees it, just hook up.
3rd down and 10 for Hudsonville. The champs of the OK Red have run into a really tough PSL blue team right here. Baker all kinds of time downfield for his buddy, and that is a nice over-the-shoulder grab on the part of Carson Dykstra to get it close to the 10-yard line.
Well, this combination seems to be working a little bit right now. Carson Dykstra, he just keeps running. The coverage is pretty good. You look and talk about being in phase. LaMarcus Army is in phase with the receiver Dykstra, but just a really well-thrown ball and an even better catch by Dykstra. And big play for the Eagles. Still some life in him with 3:30 and counting, or 2:30 rather and counting.
Mark him down at the 15. Baker, far corner, caught. Touchdown, Dykstra. A 15-yard toss from Griffin Baker to Carson Dykstra.
You know, and people are saying, well, you know, Hudsonville's going against their twos. But Marvin Rushing, when he watches this and he coaches this and he moves into next year, he will coach. This is great film for him to coach, because these guys next year might be his ones. And he's going to say, hey, we can see what we need to work on. Look at these combination routes. Look how you bit down in on that. Look how you got your hips turned and man coverage. So he will use as a coaching tool, but for Hudsonville, it's just a chance to try to get some more confidence and a little better feeling from this game.
Extra point is up, and the extra point is through. A 6-play, 72-yard drive in just a little bit more than a minute gets Hudsonville a little bit closer. They're now down 42-20.
Oh, I got friends texting me all the time, Chef, I know, and I can't help but looking, and someone just sending the most outrageous stuff. And I can't even go there, but people watch this. And, you know, I was telling a story early on about I played 7 years in the NFL. No one knows I did. I can walk in anywhere in the world. If I ever get recognized, it's because, yeah, I saw you call Menden and Fowler I saw you. That's a funny thing. I remember I was telling him before the game about one alumni day. All the alumni go walking out, and I was happening to work in the Lions game. I had a suit and tie. So
Lions alumni, right?
Yeah. I go walking out on the field during halftime, and I come back, and these bunch of guys have heard, Rube. I go there, goes, you play for the Lions? I'm like, yeah, how do you think I got this job? Oh, people, when you get old, that's what happens. I'm like, yeah, Bobby Lane and I hung out.
Oh. .219 remaining. Hudsonville has already recovered one onside kick. They've tried two. And one would assume Ian Jenkins will try a third here. Lined up like he has it. And it's easily fielded in Hudsonville territory. And a nice job done by John Baker the fourth.
Pops will be happy.
Get the ball at the Eagles 48.
You always plant those seeds for the future, and the ones I planted is if we start carrying more high school games during the season next year. I happen to get down to Cass Tech. I will have a plate at the elite table for the barbecue.
I would expect an invitation.
Possibly. Well, you just can't invite yourself, your friends, to somewhere where you were invited. It's not my barbecue. I'm a guest. Let me just bring 3 other people. And one's Matt Shepard. Oh, Matt Shepard? Yes.
He used to. Seth Sendry is in as the backup quarterback. And it's an important story here for number 10 in white, because he started as the quarterback at Cass Tech. But, he started to tutor Donald Tabron II. And they've become, well, like brothers. And when you have a guy who has high character, who's a winner, as Marvin Rushing calls him, it really helps with the transition, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, he was the man coming into the season, and when he was replaced by Donald Tabron, that's not everyone can take. That's tough, right? But he obviously knew this team is something special, he wanted to be part of. And the other thing, when you're the starting quarterback, is great. Your backup quarterback, you're one play away from being the starting quarterback again because of injuries. And in today's game, we see it happen all the time. But as you said, Shep, really a good character guy in the team, and Coach Rushing was nothing but positive about this young man.
They'll keep it on the ground. And Hudsonville, despite having one timeout left, will not use it.
Taylor, the ball carrier.
We're under 2 minutes to go.
Stop by Vanderbeek.
It's a gain of 5 on that carry for Julian Taylor. Well, they'll continue to do things the right way in Hudsonville. They have a senior retreat at Coach Sandy's cottage. They went to the Grand Valley football camp last year. They set goals. They come up with their core values, and one of those core values is grit. And it doesn't come from Dan Campbell and the Lions. It stands for greatness resides in team. They've had it for a long time, and they will try and continue doing just that there in Hudsonville. A lot to be proud of a season. Just ran into a better Cass Tech team in the final game of the season.
3rd down and 4.
Now under a minute left. Marvin Rushing, the 1993 Cass Tech grad. What a feeling this will be for him to fulfill that dream. And then Spades going backwards.
Met by Rickle.
That should do it.
They don't have to snap it again. Cass Tech was the better team on this Saturday night. What's interesting is their 2 losses this year came on a Saturday. They slayed that dragon. And Marvin Rushing knows it. You don't have to coach anymore. Their saying is nobody stands in our way. Nobody stood in their way on Championship Saturday. Cass Tech in Division I wins another crown. Marvin Rushing, pride back at his alma mater. Congratulations.
That's the end of the game. Our final score in Division I. Cass Tech, the Technicians, 42. And the Eagles of Hudsonville, 20.
Well, the present of Cass Tech is state championship material. The future is really bright too. There's a lot of young players on this team that contributed to this championship team season. And one who just played his last game, though, Alex Graham, came back from IMG Academy a year ago and infused a lot of confidence with this team. He is the player of the game. Brought to you by our Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. 100 total yards, had a touchdown, 6 tackles, and a pick as well.
You know, Shep, I was gushing in the semifinal about C.J. Sadler, and you said, Rue, number 7's the player. I mean, you talked about Alex Graham, that you really loved him in that semifinal game against Detroit Catholic Central, and I'm thinking, okay, I remember Alex Graham from a couple years ago. Well, he is really developed into an elite player as well. Obviously, the one that stood out most to us during the course of this game.
Colorado is going to be really happy with this young man. He is a heck of a player. Their biggest problem will be, do we play him on offense or do we play him on defense? Because he can play both with grace and ease. I'd like to see 2 coaches and 2 programs that do it the right way,
you know,
right?
Yeah,
they're all about the team and all about their kids.
Yeah, you might have a chance to play for Ryan Day in Colorado after Dion heads to the Cowboys. Because I'm going to think Ryan Day may not survive till Monday. We're hoping as Michigan fans that he does, because he's like the John Cooper of the new millennium.
There's Alex Graham right there. And Graham is ready to talk with our Natalie Kerwin after a special performance that he and his teammates put together on this Saturday night at Ford Field. Natalie?
All right, I have Alex Graham here. Had to get him from the handshake line here, doing his due diligence. Alex, you get to call yourself a state champion. Can you describe the feeling for us?
Going back to the summer of me deciding to come back and play my little brother, I completed one of my biggest goals. Come back home to my home school and win a state championship, and we did that. And I feel happy. I'm happy for everybody right now.
You just said it. You start your career here. You make the decision to transfer to IMG Academy in Florida. Why did you want to come back?
The biggest part was to play my little brother, James Johnson, class of 2028, center, nose guard. That was really the biggest. So, because I'm not going to get the opportunity. That's not an opportunity to get, like, every day. So, I took advantage of that.
And a state championship on top of it. That's a pretty good reason to come back. You were all over it today. Offense, defense, touchdown, interception, multiple tackles. How was it working for you?
I thank God. Without him, I'm nothing. And now, on to college. Yes, ma'am.
Heading to college doing big things. Hey, congratulations, Alex. We appreciate the time.
Thank you.
Shep?
Good stuff, Natalie. 4th championship for Cass Tech. First time they've done it since 2016, and they did it behind a freshman quarterback and a man along the sidelines who is a graduate of the school and came with a vision and a purpose, and his team followed. 42-20 the final. It's been our pleasure to bring you all 8 title games from Ford Field the last couple of days. Congrats to all the new state champions. Thanks for watching.